How you doing, all? BarCast. BarCast. BarCast.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the BarCast. It is now episode 6. Is that not exciting? Obviously, it is your host, myself, Mark, and my co-host, Chris.
Hello there.
And today is a good episode. I'm going to hand you over to Chris because he's going to introduce someone this time.
Yes, episode 6, second episode with a guest, third guest of the season, because obviously we had a double guest last time, but this time we have someone who, if I'm honest, I wasn't sure would come on because they are one of the busiest people I know. But we have got my singing teacher. She's a wonderful person. We have got Chrissy Grimsdale. Hello, how are you?
Hi, I'm good, thank you.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Yeah, been good. Busy as always.
Yeah,
always
me
good.
too. Back
So-
at work.
Yeah, always working. So for context, for the people that don't know you, Chrissy, because at the moment your connection, really, you know me because I'm your student. You know Mark because he tags along to the open mics.
Yes,
But for
which
everyone
we
else,
used to be able to have in person.
Yeah.
but until don't know when they're online.
Yeah, it's been over a year now.
Yeah, it's been a good. It's just been a year since the online ones. But you're probably one of the busiest people I know. 'Cause,
Yeah.
you've got your main job as a singing teacher. Then you work at a school 1 day a week. Then you do a choir
2 days a week.
online.
Yeah.
Or is it
Oh,
twice
that
a
is
week at the
quite a
school?
Yeah, so I teach at the music school.
Yeah.
I teach there 5 days a week. I teach at the other school 2 days a week, which is a private school. So I kind of mesh those together. And then
Then you got the choirs.
so we're running various choirs and things, and volunteering currently for a mental health choir, compiling 200 voices together.
Yep.
Wow.
Voices and videos, and that's, my computer almost died today, and that's the reason why, because I'm only using a laptop. I'm trying to compile 200 videos. You can imagine.
Yeah.
My poor laptop is going, no, I can't cope.
Yeah. And that's not even everything, because over lockdown, you've done a recorded in isolation series on YouTube.
Oh yes, it's been so long, I've completely forgotten about that. Yeah.
And then you either throw yourself random YMS projects, or someone throws you an extra one like Smash Mouth.
Oh yeah, do you know, I've heard that. So this was another virtual virtual bands and virtual choirs have become a huge thing over the pandemic, because obviously people haven't been able to make music together for the best part of a year, really. But of course, we want to bring people together to make music. So this is where the virtual choirs came in. And a colleague of mine at the music school, who's a guitar teacher, he sent me a message and he said, hey, what do you reckon about doing a virtual band? Because he'd seen that I'd been putting together these virtual choirs, and I was like, this was an idea that I thought, oh, this could be pretty good, but I hadn't been brave enough to attempt it myself. And so I was quite pleased that someone else was brainstorming the idea, not me. So he's compiled, and I have actually heard the audio.
Okay.
Finished audio. So it's a drums, guitar, bass, brass. There's a brass section in it.
Brass section.
Yeah. There's vocals, obviously, and it's All Star by Smash Mouth, which everyone just thinks of Shrek when they hear that song.
Yeah.
It's such
Yeah.
a feel-good song. I think it's just the
is.
perfect one to do. And we did a harmony part as well. It's sounding so good, but it's kind of out of my hands that now we've done the singing part of it, which I quite like. I can just sit back and wait for the end product now.
Someone
Sounds
else's
good.
problem now.
It's someone else's problem. Yeah, there's not a lot of things that are someone else's problem for me. I'm a bit of a control freak, and I kind of like to do everything, which is really bad. I need to stop doing it. So it's quite nice that someone else is taking control of this one.
Yeah. And now you're recording a podcast with us.
Yes.
You've squeezed us in.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still, as I say, I'm in the middle of editing that big choir, the 200-piece choir, which is a choir called Sing Out Strong, which you can find. I think they're Facebook, YouTube. But yeah, mental health choir. So singing for mental health.
Yeah, we'll have all the links in the description of the YouTube video.
Perfect.
So that we'll be sharing that.
Awesome.
And then finally, once lockdown's done, you'll have your band, hopefully.
Yeah, in fact, we've just, I've been talking to the band today, actually. Unfortunately, no confirmed gigs for the rest of this year, which is tough. I mean, we only had a few dates in this year, which people had bravely booked previously or rebooked from cancellations before. We lost quite a lot of work over the first lockdown. We had weddings booked in. We had a really busy summer planned. There was going to be a lot going on. And unfortunately, COVID put an end to that. So it got to the point where we were almost sort of saying to each other, are we going to carry on? Because we've got nothing. We've got no gigs lined up. But luckily, we all love the band so much. So it's a jazz swing band, but we do kind of a variety of old school kind of jazz classics and swing classics, and then kind of postmodern jukebox style, if you've ever heard of them. So taking modern contemporary tracks and then reworking them into more of a jazz swing style. So it's such a unique band. It's so different, and it's quite trendy, actually. People really like to have the swing and jazz stuff at their weddings now. Yeah. It's becoming a trendy thing. And it's obviously a bit niche as well, with me being a female singer to front that sort of band. So we're pretty niche anyway. So we were never expecting to be as busy as, say, someone doing mainstream chart hits or like disco hits. There's so many bands out there doing that sort of thing. So we did want it to be kind of a niche thing. But yeah, so I've got at the minute one gig in 2022.
Oh, that's not bad.
So my light's gone out. So let's hope that stays in the diary. I'll try and fix my light here. Oh, this is when technology goes wrong.
Oh yeah, tell me about it. I've had so much of that at work before. It's like you're doing something important or anything you need it to work and it just goes, and it's the worst thing.
It's a nightmare because, like, obviously. Oh, sorry, excuse me a second. So obviously with the pandemic, I've had to move everything online. So I've had to get really confident using technology. This was something that I didn't really ever do before. I mean, I did do a few basic things with Audacity, doing a bit of recording. We did some recording, Chris, didn't we? Yeah. In lessons.
Breaking down.
And so I'd got quite into doing that basic stuff, but never teaching online. That wasn't something I ever considered doing. And so when things were sort of bubbling away, you could see things were not looking good, I think everyone was in a state of denial at the beginning, thinking, nah, this is going to be fine. We have 2 weeks. It's going to be fine.
Yeah.
No, I was thinking, I was thinking this isn't going to be fine. Yeah. I was on it, wasn't I? It was sort of a few weeks before lockdown happened, and because I'd moved into my house. Well, not that long before. Maybe half. No, I've moved. I'm 2 years. I've been here now. Yeah. But I'd been there. I'd been here. Been here. For about
8 months.
Maybe. Well, it was almost 1 year. I think it was just under a year.
Yeah, because you moved in a couple of months after my 1 year anniversary of being here.
Oh, yeah, it was. Yes. So I was still setting up everything. I've got this is what you're seeing me in here. If you can see the video, is my music room, and so this literally had nothing in it. It had my keyboard and it had the sofa bed, and that's literally all it had. Didn't have a desk, so there I was on Amazon ordering a desk, ordering a webcam, ordering a ring light, getting everything I needed. Luckily, I had my laptop, which I'm amazed it's still going because I bought it so long ago and I barely used it for years, and it was just gathering dust. And it's got so much use over the past year. It's been fantastic. But yeah, and then just I was watching masterclasses and sort of these online tutorials about how to use Zoom. Obviously, no one knew what Zoom was. I was like, what's Zoom? Everyone knew what Skype was. Everyone was talking about Skype and FaceTime. But I was on a Facebook group for music teachers and singing teachers, and they were all throwing around this program called Zoom, which I'd never heard of. I thought, what is that? But they were like, yeah, Zoom is the best. It's the best one. I was like, right, well, I've got to get good. I've got to get Zoom then. So that's what I'm going to do. And I watched all these tutorials on how to use it. I watched people giving online lessons, so I knew what to expect and to sort of understand the technology. Also, my sister, bless her, she helped me because she became my first student to have on Zoom. So she was helping me work out the technology and saying, right, that doesn't sound good, that doesn't sound right, oh, that doesn't look very good. And so, yeah, and then here we are a year later, and I now have students all across the country, all across the world. I have students in Dubai.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You normally takes the lesson after me.
Yes, yeah. And in fact, my student in Dubai has 2 lessons a week. So it's been brilliant, actually. But yeah, I just, it's been amazing. This is something that I never would have considered doing before. And it's actually opened a lot of doors. It closed a few, but it has opened a few.
That's good. That's always good. They're making like some positive out of a situation that's unpredictable as such.
It's definitely nice on, like, I'm going to say on the student side of things, because even during all this, we've still had one sense of normality because we could still have our singing lessons.
Do you know, that's what people have said to me. They've said, I've had students that have said they've struggled so much, and actually, I think a lot of people have struggled with their mental health over lockdown. I think every single one of us can say, oh, I had a really low moment there. And it's been so difficult. We're such social beings, you know, we're not supposed to be shut away, not doing anything, not seeing anybody, not hugging anyone.
That last bit's what's really got me.
Yeah, it's hard, especially, you know, family. But I would have students that have said to me that I have saved them, that I have meant so much to them, and that I've actually made really close bonds with some of my students because they've really reached out to me, and it's really nice to be there and to be, but I feel like we're all supporting each other, because even me still having that, being able to communicate with my students, because I live on my own, so it can get lonely, but actually I felt I was never lonely because I always was so busy, and I'd always spend my whole day having a conversation with all my students, and it was brilliant. It's really been fantastic. So I just think the way that everyone has been so resilient and just found ways to carry on regardess, and thank goodness for technology. That's all I can say.
You're normally cursing it in lesson.
Well, I know. Well, it's because it usually goes wrong. It went wrong in our last lesson, didn't it, actually?
It did.
Our first lesson back face to face.
And then Pro Tools decided, nah, I don't want to. You can't record your new song, sorry.
Got a new computer, and I thought it was all running perfectly. And the program that we used to record MIDI just isn't doing what it should be doing. In fact, I still need to fix it. I have no idea what is going on with it. It's working fine on my computer, which is great when I'm here, but if I'm not here, that's not very helpful.
No,
so I'm sure I'll fix it. I always find a way around it. But, you know, we come across these problems and we just find a way to solve it. Winging it, absolutely.
Take it till you make it.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think it's so easy to get sort of just completely thrown off when something like that happens, when something goes wrong.
Yeah.
And to have a bit of a meltdown. So for me today, I could have had a complete meltdown because I just finished. So I've been putting 200 videos together. I've done the audio and I've put them all into this program, and it's taken me days to put all these videos in. And you've got to sync it up so all their mouths match up to the exact moment. And then you need to shrink all the videos down so they're tiny little thumbnails so they all fit together. And so I'd done it, and I'd placed all the videos perfectly, and I got everything lined up. And then I save it, and then I do export movie file. I'm thinking, yep, done, bam, go and have a cup of tea. Come back, and my computer has got blue screen, error, computer error, can't boot. I was like, no. And then it went black screen and looked like it was restarting, and then it was like, cannot find boot. I was like, what? What? Have I lost everything? Miraculously, it somehow restarted itself and worked. But I didn't try and export the whole thing again. So I had to go through so I thought, right, well, I'm not going to export 200 voices in one go. So I had to scroll all the way up, and I would, because you can turn like the videos off. So you can make them unviewable, and it kind of makes them hidden videos, so it won't process in the final video. So I had to go through, I'd do like 3 layers at a time. So I had to save it as sort of just layers of voices, one at a time. So that's what I'm left with currently. And then now I need to put all those layers together. So that's where I'm at right now.
So this is.
But you know what? We have a problem, and then we just this is my break from the stress. But we have a problem, and we just find a way around it. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's
That's the best way to do it. That is the best.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just thinking, well, at least I've backed up all the audio to Google Drive, so at least I've got that, because that took me months to do. I say months, it took me a month. It took me a long time. It took me a long time still to do, especially when it takes up all your free time and all of your Easter holiday when you're supposed to be having 2 weeks off. I didn't have 2 weeks off. I spent every minute. I got up early, started doing the audio editing, got to the end of the day. Literally driving myself crazy listening to the same song and repeat over and over and over and over again.
And once it's uploaded, will you ever listen to this song again?
Well, probably not. I know I probably will. Maybe once or twice. Mostly when I send it to people. But the woman who runs the choir, I think she may want this to go to press, possibly. It's quite a big thing because we've got people from lots of different countries all over the world. And the song is called I've Been Waiting. And the main message is, I've been waiting to tell you I love you, to give you a hug, to do all these things that you wish you could do. The message at the beginning is, we've wasted all this time. Grandparents can't hug their grandchildren. Lovers can't have one last kiss. All this sort of really kind of very poignant, very kind of emotive stuff to do with lockdown and what we've experienced this year. And then we've got people holding up cards that say certain things that they've been waiting for. So they get sort of that individual aspect. And then we've got people singing solos, and we've got people speaking in saying I've been waiting in different languages. So it's a pretty big thing. And I'm doing it just on my own. There's been so many interviews about people doing virtual choirs. Like you've got Eric Whittaker, and you've got Gareth Malone, you've got all these big names that are doing all these virtual choirs. And
Peter Holland does some on YouTube as well.
Yeah, so what happens is they have a whole team of engineers doing this. And I am just me, the team
one engineer
of engineers to put this whole thing together. And it has been a bit of a nightmare because originally it was supposed to be put together by somebody else. Now this other person unfortunately couldn't put it together, but they had all the files, they had everything, and they had disappeared. So we couldn't get hold of them. So we had to get every single member of the choir to resubmit all of their videos. And of course, whenever you need people to do something, there's always issues. And then I've got to deal with the sort of sorting people out. And oh, this doesn't work. Oh, help! I can't upload it. Somebody sent me a video for a different choir. It's going, well, it's lovely, but could you send me this song? Oh, okay.
Wrong
but
song.
I know. I feel like I'm past the biggest bulk of it, but it is going to be. There's still a lot of work involved, but it's going to be a big thing. So when it does come out, I'm going to plug it. Please listen to it. It's called "I've Been Waiting" by Sing Out Strong.
We'll listen. We'll plug. We'll put it everywhere we
I'm going
can.
to stop plugging now, but it's just because I put so much work into it.
Mark occasionally does a random plug for my stuff anyway.
Yeah. No, I'm good. If it comes to like something once done, it'll be any time because I can do it at work. It's quite easy. I see so many from working at sea, so I'll usually pass stuff on to people that I know, and it just moves on from there.
Oh, fantastic! That's really good.
I'll just play it around at work. I'm sure if I can get into one of our shops, I can play it.
Yeah.
Well, we've also, because we've been discussing about possibly having royalties and possibly it would be uploaded onto Spotify and Apple Music, and so there'll be a little bit of reward coming back from it, possibly, but don't know. Time will tell. We'll see.
Yeah.
If it is on such platforms, please stream it over and over and over again.
Knowing me, I will. I'm a sucker for those sort of songs.
Yeah, I mean, there's been such amazing. I like obviously the "Sing Gently," the Eric Whittaker one. It's been a whole year since that's come out
already.
Yeah, so if nobody's heard of that one, if you look up "Sing Gently" by Eric Whittaker, it's so stunning. It's so beautiful. I can't remember the exact number of voices. I think it might be. It's around 15,000.
It was something like that.
I'm in the video. You can see me. You can see me.
Yeah, you can.
Did you do it, Chris? Did you record it?
I did not. I didn't get the time to. It's like you're stupid busy.
Yeah, it is hard, isn't it? Because I don't think it was open for very long. I think it was open for like
I think you told me
maybe?
like the week before, and I had stuff on the weekend, so I didn't have time to do it.
No, and because you've got to learn it as well.
Yeah, and you know what? I might for learning things. I like to take my time on it.
Yeah, definitely. You want to do it right. And then I was so also I had because I recorded the soprano part, uploaded it to YouTube, somehow got over 10,000 views on my recording, which I was quite happy with. People seem to like it.
I'm about 5 of them.
What, 5,000 or 5?
just 5. 5,000's a lot. If it was 5,000, I might still be listening to it. No, I was about 5 of them. 3 when I was just listening through, and 2 of them was when I was listening for your voice for your high notes, so I could figure out how high I can put songs when I write them.
Yeah, ridiculously high mostly.
Yeah, I'm just like, okay, can I go high? I'm trying to write more songs for different people, and I listen to them more, so I can get like an idea. So
that's the good thing to do, because then you can get a judge of where they can sing. It's nice to do that because a lot of songwriters don't.
It does mean I listen back through all my stuff again to find out where I'm comfortable singing.
Oh.
So which did mean watching some cringy videos from the early days. A couple of
like what?
Do you remember when we did Ladies a Tramp? And
Was that the one where you threw the handkerchief at me?
I've heard this story. I heard this.
That was so unexpected. I didn't know what was going on.
I wasn't supposed to throw it.
We were just in the middle of singing. We were singing the Ladies the Tramp, which we practiced in lesson at the ballroom, and it was going quite well. I thought it was.
Yeah, vocally,
it was
quite good.
great. It was sounding really good. And then I don't know what was going on. I was just singing. I think I had a bit on my own.
It was found the part. I like that. Your handkerchief in my hair. It's that line.
Oh yeah, and I sort of saw something out of the corner of my eye.
I was supposed to do that, but it just fingers go. Let it go.
Literally threw it at me.
I just I turned tomato colored. I've turned tomato again.
I love this story because I just the day that I heard it, the time I heard about it, because I missed that one.
Yeah, Scott. I mean, this video Scott recorded for it was already not great because he put the cat ears.
Did you put a cat filter on you as well?
So I had cat ears, and then I do that dumb thing. I don't know what my brain was thinking.
Oh, it was funny. It's funny.
But, you know.
You just got to look back and laugh at it now.
Yeah.
Oh, I do.
Vocally,
That's the
it
best
sounded
things as
great
well.
for me.
It was a really good performance, to be fair.
But,
apart from the throwing of the hanky.
Yeah. If you just listen to it, you don't know.
Yeah. Apart from maybe when I go, oh, I think I make a noise when you throw it at me. I was like, oh, I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
It kind of took me off.
I was just like, I've got to pick this up now. I didn't do that. Just hide.
Show must go on, as they say. The show must.
Absolutely. No, but we did just carry on, no?
Yeah. Which is very good of me, not just
Probably that many people didn't really pay that much attention to it.
I think it was
It's
mostly
just because-
Scott.
Yeah.
would
Well,
be.
he would have found it hilarious, yeah.
Oh yeah, he still likes taking the mick out of me about it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Scott. It's one of Scott's favourites.
But it's kind of, you know, it's not that embarrassing. It's embarrassing, but it's kind of funny because it's just an accident that just happened. Yeah. But like, it's not like I was like, oh my god, I'm so offended. You threw your handkerchief out. It's fine. We just kind of laughed about it.
Yeah.
It was a bit random.
It was just random.
Yeah, I was like, no, it's fine. Don't worry. It happens. But, you know, people throw hankies by accident. It's a really
a bit like a duel in the old days. Used to throw a gauntlet. I mean, throw like a handkerchief could be the new thing. You never know. Challenge to a song duel. You could always have a song
winning that.
There's always that.
Unless we go for the lowest note, I might stand a chance.
Yeah, you sing bass competition. I definitely would lose that.
Soprano, I'm not even going to try.
Well, you know, you have probably a good falsetto there, Chris, because you've got those low notes, so you never know.
Yeah, you could do it.
Bit more practice. I need more singing lessons. Time for that.
Yeah. They just go so quick, don't they?
Yeah. Well, that's what I was saying to Mark. I'm actually quite happy we're getting this chance because normally we have half an hour to do our lesson, and 7 minutes in we think, right, we should probably start.
I know.
Because we
it's
said,
terrible.
Hey, we talk about a week for the next 6.5 minutes.
Yeah, but often it's like music related though. We're often talking about like your musical ideas and your compositions and stuff that you're planning and open mics and stuff. Occasionally there'll be like stuff about work and
stuff about work or just something we like happened over the week.
Yeah. It's important to have a catch up though.
It is 100%. It is because it feels if you feel comfortable and more casual, then you can let your true self come out. Whereas if you feel like you're just going in for something, you've got like the professional thing where you don't know how far to go. Because I get that because it's like in my work practice, there's a difference between I could go into somewhere and be very professional. I could go in as my normal self and the casual, and it seemed like nothing's changed. It's like anyone on my team. I make any mistakes, I just have a laugh. So if it was a handkerchief thing, it was like if someone's broke something in the area, try and fix it and just have a laugh and just be like, this is what we do next time when the gas is leaking from that pint thing, or that glass is like shooting off like that, or the froth is like filling up. No worries about that. We'll fix it. Plenty of time. We've got hour and a half on this sailing. We'll get you trained 100% fine. This is like that.
You just throwing out all your tech speak. That all went over my head, to be honest, what you just said there.
Oh, basically, because I'm a mixture, like I'm a steward on board a vessel. It's like I work in the bars, and if anything goes wrong, because I've always had like new staff come through. It's like if anything's gone wrong, like the gas, like hooking up to a barrel, get the gas right, turning it on and off. If it goes wrong, it's like I just have a laugh with people. Be like, that's fine.
The beer pools.
Because I worked in a pub. I was barmaid. And in 2 different pubs actually, but I would never be brave enough to change the barrel or the gas or anything like that. That would always be I'd always just let one of the burly members of staff do that because I also hated having to go down in the cellar. That was the scariest thing. I'm like,
I get that. Yeah.
I don't want to go down there. It's too scary.
When I was a waiter, I occasionally had to go into the attic because we didn't have a cellar, so we had to go up.
Oh, that's different.
Yeah, so we had to go up, and I generally had to go up to get like, for some reason our kitchen was quite a small kitchen, so all the desserts were in the freezer upstairs.
Ah.
So when everyone's dessert, Chris, your turn. I'm just like,
Well, yeah.
theirs were like this big. They were tiny, and I was just.
Why do they always put the desserts so far away from the kitchen? They do. Literally every place, I swear. Because when I was a waitress, they would put the desserts in the shed outside.
Oh.
And it was always so bad. You know, when it was cold,
Yeah.
you'd have to go outside. And obviously,
No,
you couldn't
we
have time to put a coat on. You'd have to just wear your little, apron and just sort of looking in the freezer, trying to find. And we'd do those, those little ice creams that the kids have. And there's like a penguin one and a.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you've got to get the right flavour because there were different
You either
plastic
had the
figures.
vanilla one or the strawberry and the vanilla. Yeah, no,
I hated those.
I could never pick the right pumpkin. I generally just brought like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Like, which one is it? It's this one. We've shown you this. I can't tell. I literally grab one of these a week, and it's always a
it's
different
a
one.
nightmare. You take them the dessert menu and just pray that they're going to say, "Oh no, we're fine, thank you."
Like, oh no, we're good, thanks.
Yeah, I like it when they just have coffees. Actually, that's good. Although when they'd order floater coffee,
Oh yeah.
hated that. That was such a nightmare to do.
Oh, we didn't have that on the menu.
They would order it even though we didn't have it on the menu, and they would say
that's
to me, and my boss would be like, "Well, yeah, just do it. Just figure it out." Like, okay.
Improvisation.
I did figure it out, yeah. There are some fun things that I learned to do. I also learned how to do a shamrock in a pint of Guinness, which I'm told is actually you shouldn't do because it's sacrilegious or something.
Probably.
I don't know. But yeah.
Well, we have one listener that might be able to tell us if that's sacrilegious or not.
Yeah, maybe.
We-
But I would always do it because I'd be like, this is cool, right? Like, I can draw a shamrock in a pint of Guinness.
Say, it always depends on the bar and like where you are. Like some will say you can do it this way, or some you can do it that way. There's always going to be a way of doing it, and it's some lenience on either way. It's like the drink snake bite. At one point, there was the whole rumor that it became illegal.
What?
Like places couldn't serve it. It was a rumor that went away because I didn't realize it until someone mentioned it to me. So it was illegal.
So
it's
is snake
not.
bite cider and
Cider lager, and usually it would be like a bit of cordial of some kind.
Yes.
And because what it used to be is the reaction when it was inside your body used to get people more drunk.
I did actually hear that. Yeah, because you're mixing it.
Yes, and then people thought that was illegal, and
I never
I
heard
looked it
that
up
one.
because I thought this sounds a bit weird, and it's like it was an urban thing at first, but the same difference. You give somebody a half a lager, half a cider. What's going to stop them from mixing themselves?
Oh yeah,
So
absolutely.
It was silly because you've seen how many drinks is out there.
Oh yeah.
Right, we had some weird orders at work. We had people who used to like. Well, I suppose it's not that weird. I can't remember what it's called, but it's when you have Guinness and real ale. What's that called?
I can't think what it's called, but I know what you mean because
we had a lot of the old guys that would come in. They would love that. Had a few of them that would have that, and a lot of them that would also had quite a few who would like rum with just a splash of Coke, just a and no more. And if you gave them like a full serving of Coke, they were like, no, I'm not going to have that. They only wanted just a little squirt of Coke in it. And the amount of times as well with when the Coke, because you've got the what's it?
Yeah,
It's
the
the
pump.
It's like post mix in a way.
It's the stuff that runs out, and and you get people go with this Coke and they go, oh, it doesn't taste, and you go, oh, I've got to go and change the syrup now. I've got to, oh no, nightmare. I'm quite pleased to be done with the pub ways, to be honest. It was always so sticky as well. Everything's so sticky.
Fortunately, when I was a waiter, I was a restaurant, just mostly a restaurant waiter, and all the beers I had to worry about was Bangla, Cobra, Kingfisher, and Carling.
Oh, fair.
That's all right. That's quite simple.
And for 2 years of me being there, I wasn't allowed to do it because I was underage.
Oh, nice!
Because it was my second job at 16. So I was just like, I was just there to serve the poppadoms.
Nice.
And be the one loud person that when there was a big party, I could say what the food was loud enough so that it get to the right person.
Oh, you've got the projection.
Yeah, It was just like, my colleagues are just like, chicken tikka masala. I'm just like, chicken tikka. It's just loud.
What is it
slightly
though with
bassy.
people when you're waiting on tables, and it's literally like you're invisible. You come out with their food, and you go, you say their food. You've got it in your hand. It's hot. We used to sell work because I used to work gastropub, and we'd do these sizzling fajitas. So you get these sizzling skillets.
Yeah, I know the skillets.
And so you'd come out and it'd be sizzling hot.
And it's
burning, like the oil is shooting up your
if
arm.
anything.
And it's burning you.
Yeah.
And you're in agony. And then you go up to the table, you're just desperate to put this thing down. And they're all just having a conversation. Just, their stuff's all over the table. They're all sitting forwards. None of them are paying attention. And you're like, oh, chicken fajita. They were like, oh, who's had the chicken? I'm like, please, God, please tell me. Let me put it down. There were so many times, though, that I'd have to actually just run and put it down on the table because I was like, I'm so sorry, it's so hot. But they luckily understood most of the time.
Fortunately, we had a trolley for...
Oh, no.
So
I
our
had a trolley.
sizzlings were just like... We had like... I can actually say the place because the restaurant's closed now. I worked at the Bengal... I've forgotten. The Bengal Spice, which used to be on Deal Seafront. And it was quite fortunate. It was quite a narrow restaurant, so it had tables, an alleyway and tables. And the alleyway led to the kitchen with like a curtain in between. So it was just really easy just to walk up and down with a trolley and just... But it was just like, oh, guys.
What I would have given for a trolley.
Yeah, no. But yeah,
I was gonna say, trolleys are the saviour. It makes everything easier because when I've used it in some places, it's nice. It's nice to have something that's stable.
We also had these these big wooden rotating things that you'd put these little ramekins of sauce like guacamole and salsa and jalapenos and stuff. They were huge. And so you'd have to go out and you'd have to balance one on your arm. And it's humongous and it feels like it's going to fall over. You've got a sizzling skillet in one hand. Yeah. The amount of times that I was just, injuring myself, dropping it. Luckily, I don't think I ever had any major incidents, thankfully. I know there was one girl and she did spill a whole tray of drinks on her first day. I had nightmares of doing that. But luckily that didn't happen.
I went to go through the curtain and one of the other waiters was on the other side of the curtain and I had the chutney tray in one hand and I walked straight into him, so he had mango chutney, lime pickle and mint sauce.
No!
None on me.
What did you do?
Lucky he lived upstairs, so he just went upstairs, changed his shirt, came back down. But keep an eye on. Well, I don't know. Someone closed the curtains on me.
Oh no, that's not good.
Other than that, the most time when I thought I was going to drop something was when it was really busy and they were using the trolley to serve the big tables. I had to clear tables on my arms.
Yeah. And you get the expert piling going on. Yes, it's easier when you're clearing a table, isn't it, rather than taking stuff out because you can actually pile.
I got to the point where I could clear a whole table of 4 on one arm.
Hey, that's impressive.
And I could just have the other arm just to go, get out my way. I could push the door open and the kitchen staff would go, no! Just take it all off me and no, that was easy. Just walk off again.
I mean, my arms are so skinny. Yeah, I could barely hold anything on my arms at all. But the kitchen would get so... I do find kitchens can be a bit grumpy, can't they?
Yeah, sometimes they can. I mean, my kitchen was most of the time it was quite pleasant. We had a new chef for a couple of months and he was quite grumpy, but he didn't work out, so we got the old chef back.
Oh, fair.
So I was just like, yay, this is good, this is better.
No, they expect you to be so on it. And often I would only be the one waitress in. And at the beginning, It took me ages to get used to it. No one really taught me what I was doing,
don't do
and I didn't know where anything was, and I kept forgetting everything. And so they were so mean to me. They nicknamed me Dory because I forgot everything.
Oh,
They were like, "All right, Dory, all right." But then it got to the point when I was like actually really good at it, and then they stopped making fun of me. But they do make fun if they can. They will.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, yeah. If they can get any way, and it's like you want to try and find something back to like fling it back, because then if you've got one over them, the rest
Oh,
join
yeah,
you.
but
It's like a huddle.
Oh,
I
I was only, how old was I? It's probably 19 or 20. I was too
yeah.
timid to throw back at them. I was just like,
Oh,
can you tell me this again? I've forgotten. All right, Dory. Crying in a corner.
They started on me about my how spicy I could take my food. And
Sure.
I could only eat masala when I started. And within 6 months I was at Madras.
Wow.
And by the time I left, I was just shy of a foul.
Oh my goodness.
And I now...
So were they just forcing you to eat stuff?
Pretty much, yeah.
Just
The
like,
chef,
"Eat this."
they used to cook their own meal on the hob all night. And just like, they'd have it stewing. They just kept it stewing, and they make it whatever spice they wanted. But they always use like they buy like a chunk of meat, and then they get like the bone side of meat, and they cook that for themselves, so they knew the customers won't get any bones because our stuff's supposed to be all boneless.
Ah, right, got you.
And they would literally they go, "Chris, come here, hold out your left hand." He would get his spoon, put it in the pot, and throw it straight onto my left hand. And I had one of two choices. Either go, "Blimey, that's hot," drop it on the floor, which is really disrespectful.
Or shove it in your mouth.
Or eat it. So
Interesting.
within 6 months. And then it was just like, "Chris, this food will be too spicy for you." I went, "No, it will now be too spicy for you." And I add chili sauce on top and eat it.
Wow.
So yeah,
I don't have a good spice tolerance, unfortunately.
I've got a really good one.
It's got a bit, it's because when was it? 2 or 3 years ago, I lost my sense of smell.
Oh.
Before it became trendy, before everyone was doing it, I lost mine, and I have found that I do tolerate spice much better because I can't really taste anything. So it's kind of spicy is something. Yeah, but my spice tolerance is. I used to only be able to have a korma. In my takeaway, which is, I know, it's embarrassing, really.
They used to call me baby because I could only have baby food masala.
But masala is so tasty as well because it's kind of creamy, and so just because it's not spicy doesn't mean that you can't order it. I feel like, why does it always have to be like really spicy? It's like it's got this big macho thing when you go for a curry. Oh, you have the spicy curry. Well, actually, sometimes it's just you want something coconutty. Sometimes you're feeling coconutty and not super spiced.
My favourite curry when I was working wasn't actually the spicy ones. Mine was the garlic. Because I've always been a bit of a garlic nut, and I would have the lamb tikka garlic with a garlic naan and garlic rice.
Oh, garlicky.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I could literally walk in after my shift because they would feed me after my shift. And I go, "Chris, what do you want?" I went, I'll have the garlic special, and they just do me those 3 garlic things.
No, garlic is nice.
Nice.
When I could smell, I loved garlic. I miss this. I miss the smell of onions.
No,
I
don't
miss the smell
blame
of
you.
cooking onions because that smells gorgeous when it's cooking. It's like, onions cooking.
And it starts off really strong, and it just sweetens over the process.
That savouriness, isn't it? Yeah, I miss that. And I like garlic as well. And I remember I went to a party, and this person had made like this garlic. I think it's called aioli or something.
Yeah.
Have you heard of that?
Yeah.
It was gorgeous. It was so garlicky. It was beautiful. So nice.
It's yellowy colour, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of like a hummus, but like really, like just garlicky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so that was really nice.
Sort of
I do miss smell. I do miss taste. Like you only realise when you don't have it anymore how important it is. Yeah, because it's like a flavour. So I used to really enjoy food. I don't really enjoy food anymore. I eat to live, obviously, but it's kind of just become a function. Like, I'm not enjoying it. I don't look forward to cooking and eating stuff. The thing that I like is kind of, I guess, saltiness, because I can still taste that, and texture.
Yeah.
So when something's crispy, that's really nice. If you're just eating just bland slushiness, it could be very fragrant and aromatic. So it could, and sometimes, if we're talking about curry, right? So if you take away the aromatic fragrance from it, it's just kind of mushy squish,
Yeah.
It's just a thick soup.
Yeah, and it's really annoying because I used to really love it, and it's you just don't anymore.
So your main thing is good texture now.
Yeah, like I'm really all about when I have I do like a Chinese. I would now go Chinese over Indian because you tend to get I love the crispy, like they do salt and pepper crispy chicken.
Yeah.
Oh,
and then you can
gorgeous.
get the spring rolls, which have like a really nice crunch to them.
And also crispy seaweed, because that's kind of like salty, sweet, and crispy.
Yeah, that's
And so I like to have a mixture of I do like a bit of rice and a bit of sauce, but then really I just
sesame
enjoy the
seed
kind
toast. That's got a nice crunch to it.
Yeah, it's crunchy, but it's also kind of oily.
Ah, yeah, that's true. It is.
So when you're not getting the kind of prawn flavour, you're just biting into oily toast.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
It's fine, but yeah, it's probably not top of my list. Although, it used to be. I used to love it. Love sesame prawn toast. But my food preferences have definitely changed now. I hope one day my smell will come back. But you don't know, maybe it won't.
Yeah, you never know.
But maybe there's people listening that have lost their sense of smell.
Who knows? If you've lost your sense of smell for something not COVID related.
Yeah.
Let
It could
us
be
know.
COVID related.
Could be related.
Because plenty of people have lost their smell with COVID and it's
been like a
still not come
permanent?
back.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So if
So just
you've
like
lost-
people suffer from long COVID. Long COVID is a really big thing at the minute. And I think something that people didn't really think about.
No.
But especially younger people who are thinking, I'll be fine. Like, I've got a good immune system. I'm not going to die. It's going to be fine. It's going to be like flu. And then they have COVID, and actually this has happened to one of my friends. So they have COVID, and it's unpleasant, but they get over it. And then a couple of weeks after, that's when they start to get the long COVID symptoms. It kind of comes in after you've recovered from full COVID. So you get the chronic fatigue, just not having any energy, not being able to get out of bed. It's bad. And then also the smell thing, the smell not coming back is another thing. Although positive stuff has come from the vaccine, because apparently the vaccine can help with long COVID. So if anyone is suffering from long COVID, get the vaccine, because it is actually that they're doing studies on it, and they have shown that it does seem to be that it does significantly help with any long COVID symptoms, possibly getting rid of them.
Okay, that's something then.
That's something.
Anything to give people more reason to take the COVID vaccine other than this nightmare.
Definitely. And people are saying, I would like to have the Pfizer one, or I'd like to have this one. Give me any vaccine.
Yeah,
Stick it in my arm. I don't care. Just anything.
Freckles.
Yeah. Absolutely. I'm just dying for that date when I can have my vaccine. I'm just like, come on, please let it be my turn soon.
Yeah.
Because I see lots of other people having their vaccine, and I know for a fact that there are people who are being cheeky and going around the system somehow and getting their vaccines early.
Yeah,
Naughty.
there's a lot of that going on.
I think I know the system. I haven't used it myself.
Well, the system is, I think it's changed because people were being a bit sneaky. So the rules were that if you were a carer, an unpaid carer, then you could have a vaccine. So in some way, because my sister's disabled, and my sister has had the vaccine, and she's in her 20s, so she's young. so she wouldn't usually be given a vaccine yet, but because she's got disability, she was invited for a vaccine.
Risk.
Yeah. And so because I'm bubbled with her, and I do go and look after her, and we spend a lot of time together, and I'll help her if she ever needs anything. I go over and I help her out. And so she was like, well, maybe you could get it as my carer. And I am registered through certain means that I'm her carer through the council, but I'm not registered as her carer through the GP.
Right.
And so when I go on and try and get a vaccine, it says, oh, now they've changed it, so you need to be registered as an unpaid carer through your GP. Doesn't matter if you're registered through the council.
Right. I was also
So,
thinking,
yeah.
because you work with kids as well.
I'm a teacher.
Because
I'm going in and out of schools. I'm
Because
seeing so many
Max-
people.
You've probably seen Max at a couple open mics. He's the one that shows up the least, other than Mark and Scott. He's the quiet one. Yeah, he's got his, because he works at a school.
But that's not the case, though, because teachers aren't being prioritised.
Yeah, no, he had his end of Feb.
Well, I know that if you are classified under the care service, so some parts of the school are classified under the care bubble, especially like social care. If you are... Yes, that's probably why. So if it's bubbled under the social care, then that would be why they're given the vaccine. Because I also have friends who work in a private school, and they are, what's it called? Well, they live in the school, and
boarding school.
Boarding.
Yeah, and they take care of a house of children, and so because they look after a house of boarders, that's classed as social care, so they get given the vaccine. But not all teaching staff are given a vaccine. And they've said, because the government said they wouldn't be prioritising based on occupation. But I just don't know how people are getting around it, No, it's very strange. I don't understand. But there we go. I'll just wait my turn, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, as long
if
as
you've got a vaccine already, anyone listening, and congratulations. But I'm very jealous.
Yeah.
Jackie, she means you. My sister.
Oh, I see. Yeah. And all my family have had it though now.
Yeah,
I'm very pleased about that.
My parents have, and so is my sister. My stepdad's had both.
Oh.
Yeah, my granddad's had both of his. He's in his 90s though.
I think my grandma's had both of hers, and she's also in her 90s.
Yeah, it's good that the older people are being vaccinated. A lot of my students older students said they've had their 2 doses, which is good. So yeah, it's great. I just think it's really great all round, and I do think actually that it's brilliant how people in this country have taken to the vaccine. I think generally we're very accepting of it. Even when all the stuff came out about the AstraZeneca, we're all like, yeah. Well, and what? It's fine. We'll just take the risk.
We're being quite British about it.
Yeah. And then you look at, I know that there's been... there's anti-vaxxers everywhere, obviously, but I think there's bigger movements in different countries. And I know some places in Europe it's not been fantastic.
And America's obviously split about it, but but
America's such a big country as well. But mind you, America have vaccinated a lot of their population. I do feel sorry for Canada though.
Yeah,
they're really behind.
Yeah,
they're really, really behind.
I follow a Canadian paralegal on TikTok, and he's just like, I want my vaccine, come on, please.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're kind of moaning about not having our vaccine, but actually we're doing very well, and I think
a lot worse.
It could be worse, and hopefully we'll have it by the summer.
Yeah, and we got the bright side. We've got the option of a vaccine, because last year we weren't so.
I know. We thought it could be a lot longer.
Yeah.
I mean, even when they started rolling out the vaccine, they were saying, it will take them 2 years to vaccinate the whole population.
And
I remember they were saying
we need another one.
Yeah.
Another one in about a year to top it up.
Yeah. Well, we probably still will,
But
we'll probably still need boosters from now.
That's
This
fine.
is going to be a way of life. But it's fine. I don't have any issues with vaccines at all. I just think
No, I had mine in
there's a lot of
year 10.
misinformation out there.
Oh,
But
yeah.
it's
Just
I
copy it
know
from Bill
it's
Gates.
people are nervous. I think people don't understand it either. People don't understand. It's so interesting though. If you look up how the different vaccines are made and the different technologies that are used.
I just have to go down the road because 2 people that work on it just live down the road from me.
Really?
Yeah, 2 people from Pfizer's.
Oh wow, that's so cool.
And I know they've been working hard because I speak to one of them on the regular. And at the start, when they were first working on it, they were doing 16-hour days,
Oh,
7 days a
That's
week.
long.
that is long.
Like
But they're probably quite happy to be doing that because
Yeah.
it's really important work, isn't it?
she said, she said they were allowed like a couple of days over Christmas off, but other than that, they're so glad they worked as hard as they did because they're just they can rest a bit easier knowing that they've done their part to get this done.
Yeah.
So life can return to normal.
Yeah, I think we're all just
The new
desperate for
normal.
that, aren't we? Yeah, the new normal.
Whatever
that
that'll be.
phrase. I know. I mean, it's looking okay right now.
Yeah.
So hopefully it carries on that way. It's a bit scary looking at Europe and they're not doing so great.
No. And
but-
India.
Oh yes, India. Yeah, they're not
Yeah,
doing
the
very
second
well.
lot of outbreaks that are going on.
Yeah.
I think it was
And-
Brazil as well, if I remember.
And
I think
they're
Brazil had
This
a,
is where all these new variants have been
Yeah,
coming out.
apparently-
It's interesting where all the variants come. That's when you get obviously these huge spikes. That we had that issue, didn't we?
yeah,
With
no,
our
we had the
Kent variant.
strain.
I can't.
Yeah.
Bring on the
Kent
Kent variant.
Of course, it was going to start in Kent, wasn't it? Of all places. But yeah,
I blame Dover and Margate.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm just blaming. I blame Dover because of the forts and lots of people.
Yeah, I mean-
Well, it
Not
must
you,
correlate, it
correlate.
must.
And then obviously Margate's just. I say Margate because that's where I normally working, and during the first 6 months of the pandemic, the one day in office I was going in because I couldn't deal with the pile up of paperwork here. There was a distinct lack of masks.
Oh,
Social
yeah.
distancing.
There was at the beginning, I remember at one
Yeah.
point, especially last summer actually. But now more people are wearing masks
Yeah,
because
it's
you
become
have
better.
to now. It's a rule now.
Yeah.
I remember when it didn't make any sense to me when they had that rule where you had to wear a face mask to go into a shop, but the shop staff didn't have to wear one.
Yeah, that made no
You
sense.
remember
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Because our staff was
I
asking.
found that completely ridiculous. Well, what? So shop staff can't spread COVID, can they? and it was very annoying because I'd go shopping and I'd be very cautious and careful with my mask. And then there'd be like a gaggle of shop staff all standing together, talking to each other with no mask on, no social
That's a
distancing.
good
And then
one.
I've got to go, oh, excuse me, and push through this crowd of people just spreading their germs everywhere and just praying there's not COVID in the air. But yeah, so I feel a lot more comfortable now that masks are.
It's definitely
needed in
got
shops.
better.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Still a few Muppets here and there.
Yes, yeah. There are some people who are still denying that it's a thing.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
And I've
There's
had.
always
I've,
going to be resistance.
I mean, it's kind of awkward because I've had friends who were kind of like, it's not a thing. Like, it's just media hype. Don't worry about it. Guess what? They caught COVID. I'm really sick.
Irony.
Then it was a thing. Yeah. Then they took it seriously.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I was taking it I was taking it fairly seriously, and then last April I lost someone I knew, and I'm like, nope, this is too real. So I've been here for the past year, barely seeing anyone. I think I've seen Mark like 2 or 3 times in the past year, and that's only because
It's
we've
mad,
been
isn't
allowed
it?
to.
It's mad when we're so used to being so social. Like,
Yeah.
I'm very used to. I'm very close with my sister, so I would see her 2-3 times a week. My mum, very close with my mum, I would see her once a week. my friends, we'd always do stuff. We'd always end up, planning weekends out, going to festivals, all these fun plans, all these things that we would look forward to. Also, I had a couple of friends who were supposed to be getting married. They were having hen dos. They all got cancelled. Weddings got cancelled. It's just been terrible, really. It's just so sad. But hopefully we'll get back there again.
Yeah. Oh, we've got a duet we need to sing. We can't do that over Zoom.
Ah, true. Yes. Well, we've got to. Well, we could, but it would have to be like not live, which would kind of ruin it.
Yeah, we've done it not live, but it'd be kind of fun to actually
do a live one. I don't know when the open mics will be live again.
No,
I wonder if it'd be after June.
Yeah, I don't know. Possibly June.
I'd be quite happy with it being October, so we can just end the school year.
Yes, it would probably be it would be October, wouldn't it? Yeah.
I mean, there's one in July, but I think that's still a bit too soon.
I don't think we'll. Yeah, I can't see that we will be doing it then. I agree.
I'd be quite happy with waiting till like October or even like February if needs to be.
Who knows? The thing is, we can't even predict where we're going to be then, because we're all the way along. Like at the beginning, obviously, as I said, we were like, oh yeah, 2 weeks, it'll be fine. Or just after the Easter holiday, just the Easter term. Oh, okay. And then here we are, like, several lockdowns later.
13 months later.
Yeah, mad, really mad. But hey ho, I think it's obviously been terrible, but there are, as we've discussed, there's been some really positive things to come out of it. Yeah, there are silver linings. There are things that we've done. And I think, I've definitely learned some more skills. I think a lot of people have learned new skills over this time, haven't they?
Oh, yeah.
Mark and I have been working on the podcast since July.
Yeah.
That's great.
Pretty much.
That's fantastic.
Finally
so how did the
it.
idea come around? Were you just like, hey, we should start a podcast?
Well, the idea actually came around a couple years ago. It was actually after an open mic.
Was it?
Yeah, Mark. We just dropped Scott home. Mark was driving that night, and what Mark and I used to do after an open mic was sit outside my flat and we just, we talk for a bit. Just like it'd be a good way for me just to like calm down from like the hype of the evening, or if I did bad, it would just cheer me up. Depending on how I felt I did.
You never did bad.
Unwinding.
Yeah. You know what I'm like. I'm so
when you're feeling self-critical.
Yeah. So, and we were just talking. We were just like, we could probably do like a YouTube channel or something, like talk about all our wacky stuff. And it took a few months, and we did the first video, and that was 2 years ago.
Yep.
Our schedules were just so busy with things because I had singing. I was still part of rock choir back then.
Oh, rock choir! I remember that. Yeah.
Working all the time, scouts, and Mark's week on, week off.
Yeah.
Like I saw my parents like a couple of times a week. It was just like we both had very full schedules. And when Mark's not working, he needs a lot of sleep because he works so hard during his weeks.
Aww.
Yeah, so just recover on the week off.
Yeah.
So
it's important. It's important to rest on your week off. I'm not very good at doing that.
he's really not.
I've gone dark again. Sorry.
At least you haven't turned red.
It's the technology. Why does it do this to me?
I don't know.
I know why. It's because I've got too many things plugged into one plug.
That feeling. So, but yeah, the pandemic happened to us.
Yeah.
And I had a bit more time. Well, I stopped doing rock choir to start with, but that was on a different basis. And I had a bunch more free time, and then Mark had a bunch more free time because he wasn't working as hard because there was not as much to do. There was no passengers.
No, I dropped down from like 1,000 people to only like 100, so that wasn't too bad.
Wow, 1,000.
So yeah, that was a bit of a break.
Yeah.
And then one of our friends who's been a guest on the show, Glenn, he was just like, "Are you gonna do something with this channel already? Because You mentioned it a year ago.
We did.
Yeah.
Like,
All social media was made as well, so we had everything.
You had to do it.
yeah, we
If
got
you
the
made it
Instagram,
all,
we had the Twitter, we
you
had
just
the
had to
YouTube.
carry on with it.
And we're
Yeah.
just like, you know what, we'll do something. So last July we did episode 1, and we've kept a 2-weekly schedule since.
That's great. Do you know, I think it's fantastic that you've kept going with it, because it's so easy when you start something, especially when you're so busy, and with all the changing, everything's changing all the time.
And it works quite nicely because we've got a good schedule now. We record it on the Monday, and then Mark goes to work on the Wednesday, but it doesn't get released till the Saturday. So if Mark's editing, he has the whole of Tuesday to edit and send it to me. Or if I edit, I've got 5 days.
Yeah.
So
You've got loads of time.
yeah, and then I've been Twitch streaming as well since I'm
Oh,
the end
yes.
of
June.
Is that still going well?
still going well. Yeah, I get
Good.
my first payment next month.
Oh, nice.
How much is that?
At the moment, it's going to be £75.
Oh, do you know what? That's really good.
I know. Just for,
That's really good. That's, you could get a good clothing haul for 75 quid.
exactly,
New
which is
jeans.
great because I need some more.
I need to buy some new clothes. My trousers don't fit me anymore. I think a lot of people feel that pain over lockdown.
I'm feeling that pain, but I'm feeling it the other way. I need.
Oh,
smaller.
really? Oh, good for you.
Yeah, I've nearly dropped a stone during the pandemic.
That's amazing. Well, I'm a lot more sedentary than I am normally. Usually I'm moving around loads.
Yeah.
And then obviously for lockdown I'm just sat down.
Yeah,
Not doing anything.
Well, I'm normally sat down so much, but I've been moving around more.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's good.
well,
Hopefully now I'm moving around a bit more. I'll feel a bit fitter.
Yeah, and there's but yeah, so that's it's just kept me busy because I've not been doing scouts as much, and and I don't know, I'm busier than ever doing social media things,
Oh, yeah, you are.
but
Yeah.
I've somehow found more time for my music as well, which is great.
That's good.
'Cause
So do you think you're gonna, when Scouts is up again and Rock Choir, do you think you'll go back to that, or do you think you're gonna try and maintain your current
I'm probably
schedule?
not gonna go back to rock choir because I stream on a Wednesday night, and I think I prefer streaming to rock choir.
Yeah.
But
That's-
I've already booked in scouts. I'm still
Okay,
doing
that's
that.
nice.
I miss my kids too much.
Oh, because they must really look up to you as well.
Well, it was a very weird sensation. I got used to them calling me by my leader name, which is Panda, and one of them saw me for like the first time in like a year, like a month ago, and they just went, "It's Panda," and I just went, "Oh my god, I haven't been called that for a year."
Oh, that's adorable.
And I just didn't realise how much I actually missed it till that moment.
Will they be starting up again soon?
We're looking to start again in about 3 weeks
Oh, wow.
after the next restrictions lift.
Oh, well, I guess time will tell then.
We'll be
Fingers crossed.
fingers crossed. We'll be outside. We won't be allowed to eat in the hut. Unless it's chucking it down, then it's all doors and windows open.
But the whole thing with Scouts is being outside and building campfires and toasting marshmallows and all that jazz, isn't it?
Mine are only 6 to 8 years old.
Oh.
So ours is mostly playing games.
That's cute.
Yeah.
I'm just remembering brownies and rainbows and guides. See, I did all that jazz. And I was a young leader for brownies as well. Yeah. Yeah. What did they call me? They called me Bluebird.
Bluebird.
Because I was a guide. And so I was doing it as a guide. And so I was obviously wearing the blue. And so they called me Bluebird, which was kind of cute.
Cool.
Yeah. Because my sister has, because my sister's got some, she's autistic and she's got other health problems as well. And so she was pretty almost non-verbal at one point. And she wanted to be included, and she was in rainbows, and then she wanted to go and be in brownies, which is the one a bit higher up. And so the only way that she could go is if I went with her. So that's why I decided to then be a young leader and go and sort of look after her. But it's so nice. It's so fun. We just played games, and I remember one week where they sort of last minute said, "Oh, we need them to learn a dance for a line dancing competition."
Oh.
I'm like, what? They're like, "Yeah, you teach them. So steps 5, 6, 7, 8."
Oh, yes.
I taught them that dance, and then we got up on stage and we did it. It was brilliant. It was so much fun. That's one of my highlights from being a young leader.
I think my parents put me into Scouts initially because at 5 years old I couldn't talk.
Okay.
Well, I could, but I refused.
Yeah.
And so my parents put me in as a way to get me a bit more social. Then I did Beavers, then I did Cubs. I was a sixer. I was head of my little group in Cubs. And then I went through Scouts, got to patrol leader, got one patrol of the year.
Oh wow, that's brilliant.
And then I went, and now I've been a young leader for the Beavers for the past 12 years.
That's amazing. I think, it is actually really good at building skills and building social skills. And I have such fond memories of it, going on the trips, where you go and do all those kind of rock climbing and abseiling and all that stuff.
I went micro-lighting.
And campfires and singing songs around the campfire.
I lead the 50 Scouts campfire.
Do you lead them in the sing-song?
Yeah. And I lead.
What do you sing?
I mostly do the question answer ones. I do like the funny voice ones.
What are these? You got to give examples now.
Well, one is a repeat after me song. And it's good old boom chicka boom.
Oh, da boom chicka boom. Sada boom chicka racka chicka racka chicka boom.
Yeah. It just occurred to me that these kids are so young that they don't understand one of my references anymore.
Oh, what's that?
I said, okay, one more time, this time as the king. And now they look. I said,
you were doing as Elvis. They wouldn't get that. They wouldn't get that.
I knew that. So I realised my first CD was an Elvis CD.
Oh, bless.
But
They'd probably know if you said Elvis, though. If you actually said like Elvis, they'd probably get it. But the king is a bit vague because you could be talking about the king.
The king.
Well, we don't have a king, but a king.
But
yeah.
Especially since the next one I do is always the Queen, that really confuses them.
I can understand
which
the
I
confusion
do
there,
an
Chris, if I'm honest.
impersonation of the Queen. Which is terrible. I can't do.
Oh, that's brought back such good memories. I love that. That's such a good one.
But my personal favourite is Thethel the Capitilla.
What is that one? I do not know that one.
So, I have a friend called Thethel. Thethel is a Capitilla.
What is this?
One day I saw Thethel. I said, Thethel, what have you done? It was this big. He went, well, I ate a lettuce leaf. So, and it basically goes on and on, but you have to keep on.
What is
Thethel.
this fever dream?
It's basically.
This is something bizarre.
It's.
Oh, what is it politically correct? What's this speech impediment?
It's not politically correct. And the way I taught myself how to do that was if you get a starburst and stick it to the roof of your mouth.
Yeah,
you get a lift. But then I taught myself to remember how to do it without it, so now I can just do it.
Oh gosh.
It's not politically correct at all. But
that's so funny.
But it's a fond memory because we had a leader that did it when I was a cub. He was called Dan. And this lad was a madman. And he did it in a campfire. And when it got to a certain size, you gradually Thethel got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Until he was so big you actually had to move your legs to measure him. This guy would start from one side of the campfire and go, "Vee!" Jump over the fire and go, "Gosh, big." But then he'd have to go, "How big?" And he'd have to do it again.
Oh my goodness.
Bit of cardio there, jumping over the fire.
It sounds fun though.
It was
I imagine as a young kid you'd love it. Like, you'd all be laughing.
It was hilarious. We have got so many, like, Mavis and Fred had the song called There's a Hole in My Bucket. And there's
Oh,
a
yes! I know that one.
Dear Loiser.
Yeah, yeah.
I always go for like a Devonshire accent when I go dear
You've got
Loiser.
to with that one, dear Liza. Yeah, I can't do it, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Holy
do.
bucket, dear Loiser, dear Loiser. And just like, and that was a
But
proper
we-
back and forth between the two old leaders, and they used to get so sarky and annoying
Aw.
at each other. But we knew it was for show. And then there's Joe, who works at the button factory.
How's
He's
that?
got, hello, my name's Joe. I've got a wife, 3 kids, and I work at a button factory. One day, my boss said to me, hello, Joe, are you busy? And I said, no. And it's basically an action one, where he goes, okay, he pushes the button with his left hand, then with his right hand, while still doing the left hand, and then you add your left foot, then you add your right foot, and eventually he goes, hello, my name's Joe. One day, my boss said to me, hello, Joe, are you busy? I go, yes. And he goes, okay. And then you do one more, hello, my name's Joe. I got no wife, no kids, and I don't work at a button factory. And it just ends on that really sad note.
I think I've
Okay,
heard of this
that's-
one. It's jogging some sort of weird memory in the back of my mind. I feel like I recognise it. It's weird.
But it
It's
doesn't
so
help.
long though since I've done those sort of campfire.
But it's so bad because whenever I meet people called Cecil or Joe, I go in these accents. So I go, oh, hello, Cecil.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
like,
that's
no,
awkward.
you can't do that because I do that song so often for the kids, or I heard it so often.
Yeah.
And hello, Joe.
Hello, Jaw. But that's got a nice ring to it, hasn't
It
it?
does.
Yeah, that one does.
Hello, Jaw.
God
I like
forbid
that.
I meet Eliza. You're Eliza.
All right, Liza.
All right, Liza. What's going on here then? It doesn't help.
Somerset.
It doesn't help because my family's from Devon.
Oh, yeah.
So I
know
hear
my
it-
friends are from Devon actually.
So
My
I
friend
hear-
Alice is from Devon, and I do love her accent. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I mostly take the mickey out of her for the way that she says salad. She can't say salad.
No.
Ooh.
She calls it salad.
Yeah.
Salad. And I'm like, Alice, what are you saying? I'm gonna have some salad. Salad.
Yeah. No.
Salad.
My
Then
granddad.
she tries to say. Salad. She goes salad. Like no, it's salad.
My granddad was my favourite one for accent because he's from Jersey. His parents are French. He's like French English mix. Like he's got French parents, but he was born in England, Jersey.
Interesting.
Then he moved to Devon after the war, and then.
Oh my goodness, what's that?
That's how he talks. He always had like this rumble of a talk.
How do you know what he's saying?
I said he always talked like that. But for anyone who wasn't used to him, you can't understand him.
Yeah.
It took my stepdad like 5 years. He used to go, yeah,
Just nodding and smiling.
sounds good. Yep, brilliant. And Mum was just like, you don't agree to what you just said. He went, I don't know.
Oh,
but
bless.
I've always been able to like copy that voice. So, alright. Hello. Hey. But that was hello, how are you?
I guess it's every other word.
Wow, there's like no enunciation there
No,
at
there's
all.
not. But the thing is, I could understand everything he said up to the point where his brain would fail him and then he'd swap to one of the 4 other languages he knew.
Wow.
He knew, because Jersey was occupied by the Germans in World War II. So he knew English and French, obviously, because his heritage. Then he knew Russian, German, and Polish.
Wow.
Wow. Quite the
Yeah, that's
choice.
amazing.
Yeah, so he's a... So I was fine, and then he'd start saying something. I'm like, I don't even know what language you're in now.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Oh,
Like-
bless him.
Like, he taught me a little bit of French when, like, 12 years ago. Maybe longer. No, probably longer than that. I think I was in year 8, so yeah, 13 years ago.
Oh gosh. Wow.
I needed help with my French homework, and he was down for the week. So,
Oh,
Grandad,
that's
could you help
sweet.
me with my French? It was doing so well. Then he said something in German. I just went, French, please, Grandad.
Oh,
I'm sorry,
dear,
but I
that's
need
not going to
French.
help if you start to speak German. I'm going to try and teach someone French.
But yeah.
Yeah, I wish I could speak more than one language. I can sing in different languages,
Yeah.
but I can't have a conversation in a different language.
Well, I know a couple of songs in different languages. Like, there's Ochasate. We all know I can do that one. There's Vidmung, which I try to learn.
Widmung, bit of German.
Yeah, and then there's
Ja.
and then there's a bit of Elvis Presley, which is in German.
Ah.
There's Wooden Heart, which he sings in German because he actually did know German from his time in the army.
That's really interesting, actually.
Yeah, random stuff. Now, Mark's been quite quiet this evening.
Hey, I'm fine. I'm happy listening to this because, I mean, languages I can't pick it up. I can kind of get what people mean universal, like with like body language and stuff like that. But so I worked out in France in the middle. I didn't speak a word of French, and
Oh my
it was
gosh.
interesting to say the least because all the staff were like locals in the area, and it's like they wanted to learn more English than I picked up French. So, but I had to really slow down what I was saying because I could speak really quick.
Yeah.
So I really had to slow it down so they could actually pick up, and I had to use different words and taught them a lot. But mine used to be I could read body language quite well.
Yeah.
So I got along. If they ever needed a hand, I would help them out on the side. But I used to have a lot of English and a lot of Dutch customers come through because it was like a site in the middle that you would stay at if you were going all the way to the south of France.
Okay.
So it was in Loire Valley, which is like famous for like the
nice.
vineyards and all of that.
Yeah, lovely.
Nice.
And I got to admit, Tours are beautiful. I call it like a student town because you've got like a load of students like all that go there. You've got all these nice little sweet shops and everything there. It was quite nice. I'd go there on like my day off because I'd like have a day and a half off of my working week when I worked out there. And it was really cheap because it was like you would go and pass like 10 stops to get there from where my site, and it only cost me like €1.20. And I was thinking like that's to go past 10 stops and then get one back, and it's like that was cheap.
Bargain.
It's really funny because I got lost. I got lost like on the wrong coach once, and it was like I don't speak French. How am I going to get back into Tours to then get my bus all the way to my site without telling my team leader I am lost? Because I didn't tell my team leader that I got lost. So with the help of some very friendly locals, in the best kind of way of saying I need to get back to Tours, managed to get myself back with the help where no one spoke a word of English. Got back to Tours and went back, but it was quite good because it was like body language, telling people where I need to go and saying I got on the wrong one here, we need to go here, here, and here. And then they would go. Luckily, two of them were going to where I was going, so they looked after me, like really took me under their wing. And this was when I was only like 19, and it was like, I was worried because I thought, how am I going to explain to my team leader? One, I got lost because I got on the same bus that I went to get the other one. I thought, if I get back on it, that's going to take me away. No, and then it ended in this other village, and I thought, no.
Oh God, that must be that's a nightmare. In another country, not speaking the language, not knowing where you are.
It's the not speaking the language because
I mean, you're so brave to like go there and not speak any French.
No, I was worried because I warned them. I said that I wasn't. My customer service skills were excellent.
Yeah.
Because I took people out on my spare times, and I got a load of people like my name. Everyone knew who I was on site. I would just walk along, even if they weren't my own clients, because so when I finished like my shift, I was working with the local animation team, which is like their entertainment lot.
Oh, cool.
So I used to join in doing like performances on stage and
fantastic.
like all the foam parties, pool parties.
Oh, you're the entertainer. Yeah, I love it.
So even though I was never paid, it wasn't my actual job, because I always got involved. Everyone knew who I was. And it's like, you thought, oh, when's your next show? And I thought, I don't know, because I don't plan this. I just go with the flow. And I remember being left on stage teaching people to do dances. And I thought I was only here to like a
Oh,
support
the
for you
party
guys drinking at the
dances.
bar. So they
Oh,
got me on stage to do fun. Right,
fantastic.
Mark, just you don't know any songs, just improvisation. We need to sort out all the stuff. So there's like 6 of them. And this is me on stage, and I thought I've got everyone looking at me, and I thought it's like walk this way. And then the rest of my team come in the bar, and it's like I've got the whole stage to walk this way, and I've got to come up with a dance routine. So all I did was like walk up and back down the stage with like a strut, and it worked. It
Well,
worked.
that's kind of what
Hey,
you
Macarena
do as
came on next, and
filler.
hey, everyone knows that
Oh,
song.
Macarena, everyone
Everyone
knows.
knows
Well,
Macarena.
I worked at Haven, so we had to do all the party dances. But a lot of the dances are just a lot of da 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 da, walking to the side, clapping, walking to the side, clapping, and then you've got the main bulk of the dance.
Yeah, you've told me you worked at Hayward. You were on
Yeah, I was a fun
Anxious.
star.
Ah.
Oh yeah, so I did get to do some character shows and some character meet and greets, which were fun. It's really not fun being in the costumes that they have. They're all kept in this really stuffy, like the backstage area it's like a cupboard. It's not this big luxurious backstage. It's literally a cupboard, and all the costumes are like duvets, like they're really really thick, and they don't get washed. And you're only allowed to wear like bare minimum, like shorts and a t-shirt underneath, because you get so hot and you sweat. And so basically these costumes are always slightly damp from the last person's sweat. They're so hot. And then you've got to precariously, so the heads that you have, so the eyes, they look like solid from the outside, but from the inside they're like mesh. So you're looking out, but obviously they're just at the front of the head. Now, little children run at you, but your eyes are only up. You can't look down. You are not allowed to look down, because if you look down, then the head comes up at the back and you can see the back of your neck. And you're not allowed to look up, or the chin goes up and you can see the gap under your chin.
Oh,
so
no.
you have to, no matter what happens, you have to keep your head straight. And if you need to actually look down, you need to move your entire upper body down, or your entire upper body up. And it is horrifying. So you have like the character meet and greets where they walk you round the like entertainment area. So you walk round the bar and the bingo area and the amusement hall and stuff.
I've done it.
And you have like someone with you to help guide you, because you will actually end up walking into a wall if you don't have somebody there. And you basically just get these children coming at you from all directions, just running into you and hugging you, and they run at you full pelt, and you don't know they're coming. You're not able to brace. You're not ready, and so you're just walking. And there's not much of me. It doesn't take a lot to knock me over. And I was always so afraid that I was going to fall over and the head was going to come off and the children would be scarred for life. Luckily that didn't happen. Luckily. But yeah, I was Anxious the elephant, and I was Polly Popkins at Haven, because you have certain sizes of costumes that you can wear. So it'd only be the tall guys. They've got to be Rory the tiger. Of course, everyone wants to be Rory the tiger, but
no, because the Haven characters, they had a music tape for all the characters, so all the characters had a song. And my favourite was the Gorilla's song, because he was obsessed with his bananas or coconuts.
I think bananas, because it's been so long, and he wore tartan, didn't he?
Yeah.
Why can't I remember? I can't remember the gorilla really.
Yeah,
Gosh, it's just been so long ago.
Yeah, no, I went to a Haven down in south of France, so I knew the characters anyway, and then I've done the Haven down in Exmouth, and with my niece, and her favourite was Anxious.
I just loved Haven when I was younger as a kid. I was just obsessed. Well, we'd go to Haven, we'd go to Pontins, We'd go to Butlins, yeah.
haven't done
It
a
was my
Pontypridd yet.
dream holiday. I loved it. My mum would go, and truth was that she was on a budget. It was a budget holiday, but I loved it so much. Going to the kids' clubs, and also back then, they had the talent competition, and the first prize winner of the talent competition won a free holiday for their whole family the next year. So guess who would always have to go and enter the talent competition and win
I
first
wonder.
place every year?
Was it your sister?
Yeah. No, so it was my job to earn a family holiday every single year. My mum would be like, right, come on. And if I didn't win the talent competition, then I'd have to go and enter another competition and win that one. Because it was every single winner. I remember one year I had to do the disco dancing competition because I didn't actually win the talent competition that year. So I had to do the disco dancing competition. Somehow I won that one. It was very weird. I'm not a disco dancer. It was a bit Napoleon Dynamite, you know. I was a bit mental. I don't know what I did. I kind of just, my mum was like, get out there. And she bought me this, she'd gone to a charity shop and she bought me this leotard with gems on it. She'd be like, you'll look the part in this. And also I remember I was so excited because she took me to take my ears. She took me to get my ears pierced. And so I got my ears pierced. And I was like, yeah, I look amazing. I had this leotard on. I was on stage. I cannot remember the song. In fact, I think that they just picked a random song and I had to dance to it. And so, yeah, if you imagine Napoleon Dynamite just doing crazy stuff, that was me. I just went for it. I gave it my everything. And I won first prize. It was a bit mad. My mum thinks it's hilarious because she was like, I can't believe you won that. And then there's also the Easter bonnet competition. We had to do that as well.
Yeah.
We had great joys in going to charity shops. And it was always charity shops. We were always on a budget. And so we'd go to the charity shops and we'd buy like an old straw hat, and then we'd make we'd make flowers and stick it on, and buy a pineapple or something crazy and stick it on there, and then we'd go and do the Easter bonnet competition. There was a fancy dress. Literally, they had everything. I don't know if they still do it now. They had a fancy dress competition. Yeah, I don't think they don't do as much.
Because they did it when I was in south of France. Because I remember Jackie going in for a couple, I think, but. You know, 5 or 6 year old me, nah. My only talent back then was being able to recite all 151 Pokemon in numerical order, including the levels everything evolved at, or if it needed.
Hey, that's a talent.
Reason.
It's a
That is a talent.
You
You could, if they did like a mastermind, and your topic was Pokemon. Yeah.
Pokemon Yellow was my game at 6 years old.
My sister was very into Pokemon Yellow and all that jazz.
Still have it. Over there.
Yeah, no, she's very into that.
But yeah,
I have such fond memories of that. It's just, you know, and then I was so desperate to be on stage and be an entertainer at Haven. It was like my dream.
That's
and
good.
so like the yeah, I so wanted to be up there and doing it. And so my summer when I finished school is when I went and did it. And then I went to uni after that. But I'm so pleased that I did it for a time. It was, you know, just one season. So I didn't do it for very long.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, doing like a season, you find out.
I think I loved it. I did. I really loved it. But I thought this isn't going to be like, I can't do this. This isn't that I could do forever. This is like a fun thing that I'll do once.
But you've always had like music on the mind. Clearly.
Oh, always, yeah. Love music, loved singing from a young age, and so I was always on stage singing.
Do you remember what was like the first thing that hooked you on music?
My mum sings.
Yeah,
so my mum's always sung. Yeah, my mum's always sung, and I remember my dad bought my mum a karaoke machine. I was really young. And she had these karaoke tapes. I remember they had like Lady in Red on it and stuff. And like Big Spender and stuff like that. And so my mum would be singing these songs and I'd be like, oh, that looks really fun. And she was singing with the microphone. I was like, oh, that looks really fun. I want to go. And so I'd have a go and I'd pick up the mic and I started singing. I was thinking, actually, I can do this. This is all right. I'm doing okay. And then well, I've always been into music. My mum decided to buy me a record player when I was really young. Before it was hip and trendy. I was like, before the trend. Back then it was a bit sad. And again, you know, we go to boot fairs and charity shops and buy just records that people were getting rid of. And it didn't matter what they were. I'd just look at the cover and be like, yeah, there's a person in a hat. I'll get it. Or just there's, oh, look, that's got a pretty cover. I'll buy that.
That's pretty much how I buy records.
And so, because I didn't know the names of any singers or anything back then. But I would love sort of putting the record on and setting the right speed and picking up the needle and putting it on the record. And I was so young, you know, and I was loving the whole sort of, you know, the process. I didn't care. I didn't look after my records very well. I was young. Like people now are all like, oh, you need the dust cover and the plastic cover and all this. I'm like, nah. To be fair though, my records were all fine. Like they all played fine, and they didn't, you know, I'd throw them around. I wouldn't put them in the cover. They'd all be gathering dust. I think they're more indestructible than you think they are. I think.
Oh yeah.
I also know the process because Paul had an old record player. So he'd occasionally let me put the vinyl on, but it's not me he put it on. It was mostly Sinatra or Gershwin from Paul.
I love that kind of. You know, that little popping noise.
Yeah.
Before it comes in, like when it's an old record, like it's the dust, isn't it? It's the dust on the record. But I love that noise. It's like
the first melody kicks in.
It's really nice. I've got a record player here, but I haven't set it up. But I've got like one record. I think I got rid of all my records because it wasn't cool back then. I know, it's so sad.
Yeah, because now it's the thing. Everyone's
doing it now.
I've got one. It's right there.
Have you? Yeah. I've got a little like briefcase record player that my mum got me, cool. But it's still I haven't used it. It's terrible. But yeah, I think that's some of the downsides of modern technology because actually it was so nice to have like a physical copy of something. Like I'm that old that I would go to the shop and I would buy like one tape of a single. No. And I know, and I'd so look forward to going out buying a new CD. Like oh my gosh, that was so exciting.
It was.
I remember having just enough, but sometimes I'd only have enough pocket money to buy a tape, and that was still super exciting. Like, but I remember it was always the weekend that I would go and stay at my dad's, and he would give me a little bit of pocket money, and I would go to Woolworths, I think. So
best shop in the world.
And like you'd browse the tapes and you'd browse the CDs, and I just like I remember buying this is my age again. I remember buying Justin Timberlake's CD and Christina Aguilera's CD, and I would get the book and I would literally I'd put it on and I would listen from beginning to end, all the tracks in order, reading the book cover to cover, reading all the lyrics, and then I would just obsessively listen to that CD over and over again on my CD Walkman in the car.
Yes, the Walkman.
Oh, yeah, the Walkman.
Oh, I missed
always
that.
skip.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I always loved that. I've always had like tog coats, and they give you like massive pockets in men's tog coats. So I could fit my Walkman with these in my pocket.
Oh, nice. See, that was always the pain, is that I never had something to put the Walkman in.
Yeah, I could walk to school with my Walkman in my pocket. Like, people were getting iPods. And I'm like, nah, Walkman. Like, what have you got today? Today I have the only Elvis Presley album you ever need. And I goes, which is a lie, because there are only 16 songs on this. I still need the other 120.
That's amazing. But I think because you really cherish that music. You really cherish that CD. I really cherished them, and I listened to them. Like there've been very few times since where I have bought an album and experienced it in the same way that I did when I was a teenager. And I do reminisce, and I think back to how much I relished CDs back then. And I really loved them, and I really listened all the time. And I would just sit at home and just listen to a CD. I don't do that anymore. That's so sad. I
I
think it's so sad that my brain has to be so distracted with stuff. I either have to be reading something or scrolling through some news app or put something on Netflix. I can't just stick a CD on and just listen to it and enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
I've gotten to the point where I can now play Minecraft if I just fill my inventory up with torches and grab my pickaxe, put a CD on, and I can just mindlessly mine. Because to me, my brain's being productive because that's preparing for a Minecraft stream. So that's me.
Oh, well, there you go. Yes, see, I feel
can-
guilty as well to
I
sit
just
and do
listen
nothing.
to that CD.
Yeah. Because then you feel like you're occupied, you're doing something.
Like
I think
killing
that's
some
part
birds.
of it as well, isn't it? It is that ability
It's
to
just like
sit
where I've
and
been
just.
so used to being busy all the time. It's just like, it's like normally sitting down and just having such a casual conversation and doing nothing else but having a casual conversation, sometimes that would annoy me. But podcasting, I
It's
love it.
productive.
It's productive. It's not really productive because all we're doing is sitting down having a really nice conversation. But I know that I'll have to edit it, and I'm just like, that's fine, because I know it's technically working, but it's not. It's enjoying myself doing something casual. It's much better than
It's
working.
project or hobby. I guess it's project hobby. I guess
It's a hobby. It's not it's not a project, because projects, I think, is you do it, it's done, you don't have to worry about it for like 5 years. Like painting the house is a project.
Yes, it's something where you're like, I'm looking forward to getting that out the way.
Yeah, but a hobby is something you continuously work on because you love it.
Yeah.
Or I hope you love it. Because if you work through the day and sleep through the night, you better do what you love or something ain't right.
Absolutely.
I wonder where I got that from. Sorry, that's a really bad plug of the song I just wrote.
It's a great song. Are you going to play any of your songs on the podcast, Chris?
I never thought about that. That's actually a really good idea.
Good.
I've gotten away with not doing that so far.
I'm sure your listeners would be interested to hear.
Well,
I'm sure they've heard about your songwriting and your singing.
We plug it. There's a way you can listen to my original songs while streaming, because you can just click a reward for watching me long enough, and you can just go, Chris, sing us this song.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes. And we got sing along as well. So
we got sing mode
if it activates, there's one where we have to sing everything we're doing. We can't talk,
5 minutes,
but we have to sing everything we're doing.
Oh my gosh, that sounds so much fun. I like that.
And if I've got someone on the thing with me, I make them join in.
That's brilliant.
For everyone, not just me.
No, I love that. That's fantastic.
Music has been like a low-key part of my life till I was like 21. Like, got my first Elvis CD at 6. Elvis is what made me fall in love with music. Stuck on You, which I should probably do a cover of at some point. That was my first Elvis song. Now I was just like, hang on, who is this guy? It's like the first time I paid attention to music.
Yeah.
And I got hooked on Elvis. Then it was in my favourite Disney movie, Lilo and Stitch.
Probably
why it became my favourite Disney movie.
So I was gonna ask you actually. So, was it a CD that you just had lying around? Was it one that you purposefully bought? Was it gifted? How did you get into this one CD, this Elvis CD?
It was actually the song I heard, "Stuck on You," was randomly played on Radio 2. It was on Steve Wright's Sunday Love Songs. Paul and I were going into town because we needed some bits for dinner, because he forgot to get them the day before. And we just sat in the car, and he turned it on, and Steve went, okay, we've got Elvis Presley, Stuck on You. And this song played, and it was the first time I actually listened. I went, Paul, I like this song. I would like to listen to it again. He went, well, we don't have any Elvis at home. And back at the time, there was a CD shop in Deal. So we went to the CD shop, and we looked through, and we looked for all the Elvis CDs, and there was this one, it's a gold case, it's called Elvis Number Ones, and it's got 31 Elvis songs, and number 14 is Stuck on You.
Oh,
It's
wow.
currently in my CD player as my go-to.
Oh, that's
CD.
so
And
lovely. That's a nice story.
I listen to that song. I listen to that CD every morning. It's an hour and a half long,
See, that's a cherished CD.
and
That's and I think we need to cherish our music more, just like that.
yeah. And by the time I got that at 6. By the time I was 8, I was singing along to every track with my eyes shut. I know.
Oh, that's so
So
sweet.
that's why when you see me sing "Love Me Tender," I know it so well
Yeah.
because that was track 4.
I love the fact you even know the track numbers.
Yeah, I knew all the tracks in order, and 16
Wow.
is "Are You Lonesome Tonight," which is what we did on Friday.
Yeah.
I love that song. Not the laughing
Yeah.
version; that's on a different CD I've got. But still, but then through my teenage years, I wrote a couple of like rough love songs, which are like "How I Feel," which is one I did a couple months back. And teenage years, I listened to music. It's when late teens, I started listening to Buble, but I didn't have like a lot of confidence in myself. I liked to sing, but I'd only
Yeah.
sing on my own.
Yeah.
Sing in
Yeah,
crowds.
100% get you on that.
And then, but I'd always do like a carols thing with my parents with the lodge, and then
Like Christmas carols.
yeah, Christmas carols. And then
Nice.
at the end of one of them, just over about 5.5 years ago, an old fellow said to me, "You should do something." And then 2 months later, I was your problem.
Yay!
So it's thanks to that. It's thanks to that old gentleman that we know each other, because I then asked James, and then
Yeah, and then here we are.
here we are, and 5 years later,
All
going on.
all the songs under your belt now, all the performances,
Yeah.
all the confidence that you've built, and isn't it fantastic?
Yeah, but it all stemmed because I originally listened to that one Elvis song.
Oh wow, that's such a nice story.
That's quite a good story, actually.
Yeah,
It's always something you'll remember if it's definitely something you cherish as
I'll
well.
never forget "Stuck on You,"
That's so sweet.
which is now I listen to the lyrics. It's just like, mate, you're a bit clingy.
Yeah.
But think about it, I'm like, yeah, but I can get a bit stuck on people sometimes. So yeah, that's related.
Yeah, I think actually it's quite funny because a lot of the love songs can actually be quite sort of toxic in some
Yeah.
ways,
Like,
unhealthy.
yeah, it's like when I try and write them, I'm just like, oh, no, that comes off as a bit weird. That's not what I'm trying to say here. It's like, no.
Then again, weird is what you'll remember. It's like with some ads, you always remember the weird ones. You never remember the normal
Like the
ones. and such.
Panasonic ad where they dropped a crate full of bouncy balls down the roads of Chicago. It was CGI,
That's random.
but 2008 Panasonic TV ad.
Yeah,
I think
yeah, I think I recall that one now. Yeah.
Oh, I
Big
watched
crate
the
drops
greatest
down.
ads of the decade in 2010, and because I really liked watching ads for some reason, because they were so weird.
I love watching the Christmas adverts.
Mm.
That's one thing to get. It's always nice when you can get excited about Christmas, isn't it?
Oh, I tell you, it was always the Coca-Cola ad when it came to Christmas time. I always like seeing because
That's when you know.
it was always the
Second
same
week of
one.
November.
Mm.
Although I'm going to be having Christmas in July this year
Ah,
because obviously I didn't have Christmas last year.
No. Oh, so you're gonna have
A lot of people
double
didn't have
bash.
Christmas. Yeah, because my birthday's in July as well.
Yes.
So we're going to have like a birthday Christmas. Birthday / Australian Christmas.
Oh yeah.
that's not
That's what we're
bad.
going to
In the
do.
summer.
Yeah, we're going to have a barbecue and have a Christmas tree. It's going to be amazing.
Somehow not
So-
surprised.
I'm excited. Oh, I've gone dark again.
I got to admit, it is good celebrating that time because we did that in Eurocamp. That's where I used to work, and we called it Courier Christmas, and we did it. We did it in July. Like literally, we would get hats. We would do an actual roast as like a team, and then we would find a day that we would all like finishing the shifts. Or if one was doing nights, I think it was myself or something. We'd meet up. Have a nice meal, all wearing Christmas hats, take pictures, play games.
Oh, I love that.
And yeah, we did that in July, and it didn't make sense to me at first, but it was quite good, and we called it Courier. Christmas.
I like that. I think,
sounds like-
you know,
I remember
especially, I think a lot of people
doing
should do it this
something
year.
like that.
A lot of people should do like a summer Christmas because
Mm.
I think a lot of people didn't get to enjoy Christmas together
not
with
this.
family. And I've seen some friends do like Christmas celebrations when restrictions were initially lifted. They went to their parents' gardens and stuff, and did Christmas there. But yeah, I think it's just it's nice. It's nice
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
I'm gonna wait a
we
little
had
bit
to do
longer
our
so we
lads
can
one
actually
on-
go inside.
We did our lads all on Discord, didn't we? Like,
Oh,
yeah.
I
Discord
was the driver.
Christmas.
I went to everyone's house, picked up the presents and distributed.
That's
Yep.
so sweet.
Like, Max and Mark came to mine and dropped off theirs.
Mm-hmm.
So I would then drive to Scott's, drop the presents off to Scott, and he would give me Mark and Max's and mine. Then I would drive to Mark's, drive to Max's, drive home, and then a few hours later, we would do the actual thing. But
Yeah,
unfortunately,
yeah, it was nice.
when Dover was really bad on the ferries, and I got stuck at Whitfield for like an hour.
Oh no.
Oh, I remember.
Oh
Yeah.
yes, that was terrible.
Yeah, I mean,
That was
luckily I had a
so
KFC
terrible.
in the car because I needed dinner, so I swung by KFC and I went right to Mark's, and I went, I'm stuck here. But at least I had dinner.
Yeah.
Oh my word! I was
Felt so
very
bad.
lucky because I just missed that build up of traffic
Oh yeah,
because I live kind of near Dover Way,
Hmm.
but I kind of saw traffic building up because I'd seen my sister, and I was thinking, this doesn't look good, and so I just sort of last minute thought, I think I'll go home via
the back
Thanet,
streets this
maybe.
way.
And actually, Thanet did eventually get very bad because then they diverted everyone to
Yeah,
Manston.
yeah.
Yeah.
But at this point, it was all right. So I managed to make it home without getting stuck in traffic. But I was very lucky, I think.
Yeah, I was just saying
To
because
get
Would have
back.
been reals. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was so bad because I was seeing like the reports of the vessels crew couldn't
you had
turn up.
work the next day, didn't you?
I think I was lucky because I think I had that week off.
Oh,
When
that's
did I go in?
lucky.
No,
Did I go in?
no, yeah, you
I went
were,
in after.
You were off, then you were back the week after just to be off because you got COVID
Yes.
You got
Yes.
COVID.
briefly.
I had a test result come back and I came up out of 20 people as the only positive ones. And I didn't have any symptoms,
Oh, very
but I did have
lucky.
to isolate. So I had to call my work. We've got a health line because obviously I have to be taken off of being sick and then follow the protocols of that.
Yeah.
But it really annoyed me because I was the only one out of 20 people to get it. And what was bad is I might have had to take the whole crew with me because depending on it was at the early days where it was unknown
Yeah.
and it could have been like I always wear the mask. So
Yeah.
but if there was anyone that was so close with me for longer than like a certain amount of time, if they didn't have a mask on, they were almost going to get sent back with me. So I think I had like so many calls of different people. I think trying to be like, who was around you? Who was this? Who's going to get sent back? I
Yeah,
almost
because
sent
the
back.
track and trace people would be calling you constantly. Because that's what my friend had. She said when she tested positive, track and trace are always calling you until you're released from isolation, and then don't they give you a call and say you're released from isolation now?
Luckily for me, because my workplace had one and I was making the phone calls to them, luckily I wasn't getting too many calls off them because
Oh,
the
that's
work
good.
side handled it.
Yeah.
Because I would then, it was like 3 days later, I would need to call them to see if I had any symptoms built. Because then that depended. If I developed symptoms in the 3 days, then I would have had to have locked down further. But after a while, they wanted me to call back a week, and then it was like, and I was on leave 1 week anyway, so I did say I don't return to work for another couple of weeks. I stayed in for the whole duration, and who I was staying with, I had to call them and be like, if you need anything, buy it now, because we're going to be stuck. Because it's everyone in the house that I'd be staying with would have to go under lockdown as well.
Of course.
So I had to then call that and I had And I think crewmate saw me one day when I was like doing all these phone calls. My face, because I'm usually always the happy-go-lucky guy, and my face was so serious, and it was like, "Are you okay?" And it'd be like, I felt so guilty, and I remember my crew got locked in there, like locked in an area to do their next test, but they couldn't leave it until the doctor came on doing their test. I felt so guilty because obviously I was going back
But
home.
it's not like you did it on purpose.
No, but because I was worried that I was sending back the whole crew,
Yeah.
the guilt just went through me because I thought there's no way we can sail, because if I send the whole crew back, we don't have backups as such, because it's everyone else has been put on lockdown due to the COVID. And it's like you can't just expect to call up like 20 people to come down and then start sailing. And it was like, oh no, what have I caused? I had the most calls from management ever of like so many different types, and I was thinking like my phone rang more times than anything, and I was like, yeah, I'm all right, yeah, I'm getting back, I'm fine. And then I had to get a police escort out of the port, because obviously I usually walk through there when I go to work.
Yeah.
So I managed to get someone to pick me up and take me. So I had a nice police escort of like of a car come down and
oh my
god,
gosh,
VIP access, like so that was fun, and it was quite interesting seeing like all of that. And yeah, it was an interesting experience. And then I had a lot of free time on my hands because obviously I wasn't working, so it was coming up with new ideas, having hobbies, and I guess basically staying locked in. So I had to be creative with my my time, and luckily
I think that's what people have been doing.
Yeah, but luckily now, I mean, from the government, I now do tests. I do like 8 tests in a month now to see if I've got COVID. Not because of when I got it, just the new system. But,
yeah, I do two a week.
Yeah, that's
flow
exactly what I do, and then let the NHS know. If I don't let them know, I get fined.
Do you actually get fined?
Potentially, because I think because I work and it's like bringing in like the freight things. If I think that I'm sure if I miss one day, I might not be penalised. But I think if I don't do it or it's not recorded, I can potentially be fined for it. And I thought, that's not what I want.
Nah,
that's not what I want. But I've got so used to doing the test now of like these swab things.
Do you have to do the lateral flow, or are they? Do you have to go to a centre to have it done?
I've got a test kit of like 12 that I have.
Yeah, same. I was really excited to do the first one. It's like a chemistry experiment. Do the little pipette on the little thing.
That's it, yeah. Yeah, exactly. And how much solution do you use to like do it? And it was quite interesting seeing like the little tracker go along and be like, are you clear or not? And I thought, well, that's the first line. Let's give it 10 minutes.
And then you've got to wait half an hour, haven't you?
And you can't eat or drink before you do it.
I know, that's the annoying thing, because I was going to do the first one after dinner, and then I read the instructions, and then it said you can't eat or drink half hour before. So.
Yeah. I got confused when I first did mine, because I got given stickers with like codes on, and I put it into the NHS website, and it's like, you sure you got the right test? And I looked at the thing, and it was the actual little dish that you put on. So I've got these other barcodes that I don't know what I've got for. So
what?
Yeah, I've got like stickers. I think it's like for if you were in a test centre, you would put it on one beaker and the other. Because I've got paperwork that I have to record all my stuff stickers on. And I think those stickers are not important because I never use it when I go onto the site. What I did do while I registered a kit, but it never wanted if I was negative or positive, so I didn't do it the second time. I'm going to go into work and be like, have I done this right? But as long as I've got a text message on the net saying you've done it negative, that's
then you're fine.
Provided you come out clear, you're good.
Oh god, yeah. I was thinking if I get this and I'm not going to work, they're going to think there's like, what has he been doing on his week off?
Yeah.
But no, that was a fun
week off. I'm blaming Rhiannon just for giggles.
Oh god,
I'm just gonna blame your sister.
Oh, I'll tell you what, it was so weird. She was like calling me, seeing how I was doing when I had it, and I thought, yeah, no, it's fine. I just don't know what to do with don't know what to do about the situation.
But it's brilliant that you didn't feel like unwell when you had it.
I was surprised.
You were very unwell, but it wasn't from COVID.
No, because I had something else, because it was around like the winter time, so I think I picked something else up. So unless that triggered it, but the symptoms weren't related to the COVID at the time. Because
Oh,
obviously
interesting.
it was the final stage. Like if you had like headaches for long durations, always coughing,
Hmm.
always that, and it was like mine didn't come up with that. Mine just came up where I felt groggy, but I wasn't sick, and so unless that had something that triggered it, because you never know with the test what it picks
Ah,
up.
was it fatigue though?
Not sure it's fatigue, because I think it's when I returned back to work after being off for a duration, because I was off for 2 months to do some medical stuff. Because obviously, as a seafarer, we do a medical, and during the time of COVID, I got stressed a lot, both work and home.
Hmm.
So I must have eaten way more than I thought, gained a bit too much weight, and I failed like one of the tests that we did. So I was off as sick, basically, to like try and lose some weight and then go back in and get reallocated. And then I got an interesting room with that because obviously I lost 2 stone in 2 months because I was very
Wow,
strict with what I did.
that's insane.
Yeah, I really went for it because I was trying to return to work.
Yeah.
So I found out like literally at least if I lost some weight, I could have gone back earlier, but I thought I had to set myself a goal. So yeah, went back to work. I think I did 1 week, and then it was like the next week I did
Barely even
is
did
when I
it.
got the COVID thing. So I only really was back at work for 1 week, and then I did the first day, and then the
Yeah,
test
you're off for
result
two
came
more
in.
weeks.
Oh gosh.
So I was like fully rested. So it was
Yeah.
weird because, as I said, it wasn't like fatigue as such.
Yeah, but that's the thing with COVID. This is what happened to my friend.
Hmm.
Is they had COVID and then extreme fatigue, like extreme tiredness, no energy, completely drained.
That might
And
have
they,
extended 1 week, maybe. So maybe
mm,
maybe I did have it and I wasn't showing till later.
maybe,
Maybe they
possibly,
caught
because
you
it's
at the
it's
end of it.
post-viral, it's post-viral syndrome, isn't it? When you get very
Hmm.
fatigued, it's like chronic fatigue syndrome can be post-viral.
But yeah, but when I went out to work, everyone thought because there was someone else that I think like lost weight. Everyone thought I got COVID and somehow I lost like 2 stone because COVID, and they called it. Oh my, did you do like the COVID like diet? And I thought no, that's bull. I came back way before that.
Well, it's not like COVID stops you from eating. Like it's
No,
not
but I
like
think
it's
because
gastro. Actually, it can
yeah,
be.
I
It
think it's
can
like where they
be.
thought like where you couldn't taste and that you wouldn't eat as much and
Well,
stuff. So
actually, yeah, that's a good point.
they associated it with that, and they said, "Mark, you lost so much. Was that because COVID?" No, I was back to work before that. But no, but it's like with C medicals, they're quite helpful because that's how I found out that I needed glasses. Because obviously we do like an
Oh,
eye test and that. And it was only like this year that I really got glasses because it came up again.
oh,
But
that's
no,
really
that
interesting.
was it was an interesting time finding out that I had that and like almost sending back everyone back. And then I
Hmm.
was so glad that I was off to leave the next week because I felt so guilty. But went back and it was like, yeah, we felt for you. We fought so bad that you, because they all knew that I felt so guilty. And I just kept radio silence for like the whole
Oh, bless. But
time.
it really wasn't your
Mm.
fault. You know.
No,
He's good at
that's
radio
what they all said. And but
Yeah.
it's just the guilt of almost sending back a whole crew.
Yeah. You're lucky though, because you didn't have to.
Yeah.
Mm.
And he's,
Oh God, yeah. If I
and he's
did,
good at
I already
radio
felt really
silence,
bad.
so they
Yeah.
shouldn't be that worried about it.
I mean, I'm their number one person for doing odd jobs now. So
If you like our content, please consider supporting us on Ko-fi. But I've just noticed we've been at this for 2 hours.
Yeah, it's gone 9
doesn't
o'clock.
feel like that.
It's gone down. No, this is now the longest episode, and I'm living for it. It's been a load of fun. But see, normally we'd have Mark's question corner, where he'd ask us some questions, and I'm pretty sure he's got one. So if it's quick, you're allowed it.
I've got many. Right. So one question would be because we are almost going out of lockdown soon, like everyone can meet and things.
Yeah.
What advice would you give for someone starting like dating? So like, what would you recommend? Because now everything's changed. It's not as normal. Like people used to be close when they used to do it, but now they're not. So what would you give advice as a date for now?
I'm going to answer first very quickly because
Oh, okay.
with no dating experience, I don't have any advice to give. I've never had a date.
Not
Oh, you've
ideas,
never had a date, Chris?
Not a single one.
Oh.
So
Well, I think obviously coming out of a pandemic is pretty stressful dating right now and meeting people. But the joys of being online, I think actually a lot of people are going to be very open to video dates. It's a good way to gauge somebody and to see what they're like. So if you've got an opportunity, see if you can have a little video date. If this is someone that you've never met before, then Zoom dates are actually pretty good. And then, you know, I think going for a walk is quite nice. I think, obviously, what we used to do before is go have a drink in a pub or do something like that. But I think being able to go for a walk and actually have a conversation with somebody without alcohol or, you know, just sitting in a park or enjoying some nice weather. But really, it's what you're comfortable with. And there's no really right answer. It's got to you've got to know what you are happy with. And so I think just and if someone's suggesting something and you don't feel ready for that right now, because I think still people are nervous. Like restrictions are lifting, but I think people are still going to be nervous about mixing. And so obviously there's two people dating, but maybe one person will be slightly more nervous than the other. So I think it's just really important to be transparent about your feelings and what you're comfortable doing. And if they're right, then they will understand and they should be happy to do what you're comfortable with. Yeah.
Yeah. To be honest, I didn't think of doing, like, I thought about the walks, but I was going to say walks, but I didn't think about a Zoom one, actually. That's quite an interesting thought. I honestly didn't think of that, because obviously, you can talk over it, but no, I didn't think
obviously video calls to make sure it's all legit.
Video calls are good because you can see that they are who they say they are. You can get a feel for their personality. You can get a feel for if you have conversation. You can also just see if it's a bit shallow, but if you do find them attractive, obviously video is not totally real life. They're not it's slightly different when you see someone in person, but you can get kind of that initial feel rather than having to make the effort to go somewhere. It's quite nice. Just do it from home. Still get dressed up and still approach it like you're still going out and meeting them. So still put on your best get up and have a nice shower and make sure you're smelling nice.
So I guess mine would be like the old Viking outfit, because you never see it when someone wears the old Viking stuff. So I've got that. The winner. So it gives you an idea. I might do that for a day at some point.
The only thing I've got in my background is a very Alcoholics globe, a baseball bat, and a pool cue.
Brilliant. Perfect. I've got my piano, so I think I win.
Yeah. My piano's in the bedroom, so.
But no, that was some good advice. So cheers for that. That was that's not the result I was expecting. But that was
really
good.
Probably the most.
That was good, because it was really good advice, and it's opened up new ways. And I mean, that's the best thing. My questions are like answers that are unique.
I think it's because the last people we asked, it was Max and Scott, and no offense to them, that they're not exactly the pros of the dating pool.
No, well, I've had some Zoom dates. I've had Zoom dates. They've been great. Been wonderful. Like when we're in the height of the pandemic, like right at the beginning, I did. You have a glass of wine and you get your phone set up. If you've got a tripod, then that's great. Yeah. And you have your glass of wine and you get dressed up and it's lovely. It's actually very nice, and you can have a conversation, and it's good. I think it takes a bit of the pressure off, because you're not having to worry about going anywhere. You can still be in your safe zone. Yeah, you're still in your safe. You're safe. You don't have to worry about. And actually, again, as we said, if you see them on the video, then you can get a scope as to are they who they say they are. They're making sure they're not catfishing you.
Exactly.
Yes.
And they can make sure that you're not catfishing them. So
you don't have to worry about it getting a bit too drunk and too weird too quick, because you're like, oh no, this is going a bit weird. And
if you're not feeling it, then you can make an excuse, or you can just cut it and say, oh sorry, my internet cut out or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a good result, and that is a common problem with some things. Yeah.
And so I think because that's definitely been something that has happened over this past year. I know there's been a lot of Zoom dates happening. So it's something that should probably continue. I think it's a good way, video calling people. It sounds terrifying. Actually, it's all right. I think I was never a big video caller before this year. And now, obviously, we're doing it all the time. I was teaching on video call. It's something that I think has just become the norm.
Oh, dude, it's good. It's a good insight, and it's good to hear.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that before I put my downer on. I was saying never a date, but that's great. it's good to know for whenever it does eventually happen.
Yeah, look, if you go on to, there's plenty of these apps. Nothing wrong with using an app. What have you got? You've got Bumble is a good one. Plenty of Fish.
Not got the best record.
Tinder.
Yeah, Tinder's an interesting one.
But it's a way to meet people at a time when you can't go out and meet people in a more natural way. And hey, also, I think people are very embarrassed about saying that they meet on a dating app, but at this time, it's very excusable. Well, we're in a pandemic. How else am I going to meet somebody? True. So don't be embarrassed. I think, make a profile, set it up, and yeah. And then if you're interested in somebody, then you can suggest, I don't suppose you would fancy having a date if you like. Maybe we could do a Zoom date or a video call or a WhatsApp video call if you like. Just see how we find it. It doesn't necessarily have to be a long conversation. You could even just say, oh, maybe we could just have a video call for like half an hour. And then it might just go on for a little bit longer than that, just so then you're not putting yourself under too much pressure.
I always find it difficult with dating apps because a lot of people don't put like a bio in, whereas
you don't want to go for someone who doesn't have a bio. Number one.
And I'm also one of them people that I generally don't find people attractive until I know them. I don't really have any physical attraction to people.
Well, that's okay, and that's really normal.
So
that's important. I think that's actually a better way to be. You don't want to be shallow. I think you see someone that you think they look kind or they look happy, or if someone looks a bit full of themselves in a photo, then you're not really going to be interested. If someone's smiling,
body language.
Yeah, if someone's smiling in their pictures and looking friendly and kind, then that's the important thing. You don't want to go for the poser. There's going to be plenty of catfishes on there, which is why you don't want to go for someone who doesn't have a bio, because often people that don't have a bio really aren't interested in putting in the time. So they're not interested in anything seriously committed. And they're probably a catfish as well. So you want to look for somebody who's made the effort to write a bio. It doesn't even have to be long, but it should be something, and it should give you enough information so that you think, does this sound like somebody that I could speak to? So I think, just give it a go. Give it a try. I know it's scary, but you just got to start somewhere.
It's like those high notes. Got to start somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like a green damn tree.
A green tree. One of our exercises that you hate. Yeah. But I would recommend anyone that's on the fence and not sure. There's nothing wrong with even setting up a profile and keeping it on private, so not even having it public, but just to go through the process of actually just doing it, thinking about what you're going to put in your bio. You can even just put it to one side. You can just keep the app there. Just take it one step at a time, and then it's not like you should have the app and then I've got to be with someone straight away. It's not like you should be obsessively on it all the time, being like, I've got to meet the one today. The one is going to be on there today. They're not. You just got to, if you feel like you want to look at the app, then do. If it makes you feel stressed and you'd rather not, then don't do it. And then if you're looking and you don't see anyone you like, don't force it and be like, oh, I didn't like anyone. Maybe I should go back and like that person. Just don't force it. It'll be right. If it's right, it'll be right. Just give it time.
Solid advice, yeah. Thank you.
That's
It's always good to get someone else's opinion on the matter, because it's one thing that's not exactly talked about. I mean, like you see people do articles about it, but it's not a thing that people talk about. And as you said, it's like online with like the apps thing. Most people, they're ashamed of it, even though there's no need to
Yeah.
be, because it used to be to meet people in the bars, and that was the
Yeah, yeah,
common
yeah.
ground. But not
Yeah.
everyone goes to bars nowadays, and
I
well,
know,
no
it's
one really
just
goes nowadays.
well, no one does now, but
No.
it's just it's not sometimes not that easy to meet people. And you know, I've had ex-boyfriends who I met on a dating app, and actually I'm not embarrassed about saying that, but but they've been embarrassed. I remember one of my exes that I was with, he came to one of my gigs, and his family came, and his uncle was there, and he introduced me to his uncle, and I was like, oh, how did you two meet? I said, oh, well, we met, and he interrupted me and said, oh yeah, we met at the train station. Yeah, we met I was just at the train station, she was just there. I was like, no, we didn't. Like, there's no need to be embarrassed, like, it's totally fine.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been ashamed
Yeah.
of it before, but yeah, no,
That's
it's
the
But I
thing.
think a lot of people are. But I think the stigmas, we're gradually lessening the stigma of it, because I think we're realizing that actually it's not sleazy. I mean, it can be, and you got to be careful, but it's not desperate either. I think it's
No.
got this label as being like desperate or like sleazy and weird, and it's
Well, it's
not.
perfectly fine.
It's
No.
not. Normal people are on there.
Mm.
In fact, it's mostly normal people.
Pretty
I
much.
think most single people are on there. So just don't worry, it's fine.
Yeah.
Next question, please.
You're the question master.
Oh, you want me to continue? I thought it was just gonna stick as the
You
ones, but
said
no. I mean,
question.
I'll go on. So other than that, what? I guess you can answer it as many, but I guess I know we've talked about kind of, but why did you go for the career or the job that you are in at the moment?
Yeah, why teaching?
So that's what it's open ended. You can have it as any of your previous jobs if you want to. If you don't want to say anything, do feel welcome. I can start with myself and explain for myself. So I've always worked with people and teamwork. So that's why I've always gone for like seafarers, because I'm still working with people, but I also see a ton. I'm not the most social. Like I do like my own time as well. I mean, I'm a gamer, so I do spend my time, but I do like being social. So that's my
Yeah.
aspect. I've always want to be out of an office as such. So that's
Yes.
mine. So if that makes this question easier, I'll leave it
Well,
to you guys.
okay. Should I go first?
Yeah, go for it.
So, I never thought I would be a teacher.
Yeah.
Never. I kind of fell into the job.
Okay.
So I was doing a music degree. Well, obviously I loved music. Music was my thing. I knew whatever I did, it was going to be music related. Didn't know what. I didn't care. It just had to be with music somehow. So I did my music degree, and I just so happened to be working at the pub we were speaking about earlier. So the pub that I worked at was the student pub, but it was outside the uni grounds, and it was actually open to locals and other people. But all the music, well, it's kind of the music students pub. It wasn't the student union, but like the music students like took it over because it's like this cool pub. It was small and had a great atmosphere, and we would all just pile in there and after choir practice and just sing in 4-part harmony. It was kind of amazing. So I was working there one shift, and this man is a regular. He comes in and he orders his regular vodka and coke, and having a chat with him. And I was going to graduate, so I was finished basically, and I was graduating, and I'd been accepted to do my master's degree, so that was really exciting. And so he was having a conversation with me and asking about what I was doing, and I said that I'm a singer. And he said, oh, well, do you know what? Our singing teacher's leaving at the music school. I said, oh.
It's just like something.
Okay. Yeah. And I said, oh, okay. He said, have you ever thought about doing singing teaching? I said, oh, well, I've helped friends like a little bit. I've done a bit here and there, and not really thought about doing it like seriously. So well, have a think about it if you like. Come in for an interview. So my friend Sam also knew about the job, and he was going to go for it too. And so we were both chatting to each other, and we were both of us were kind of new to it. But he'd been doing a little bit more than me and sort of running choirs and stuff. And he was older than me as well. So he had already done and graduated from his master's degree. And so we both had our interview. And basically we both got the job. But because he was already kind of busy doing other things, I got the main bulk of all the weekday work, and he got the weekend. And so I was thrown in to I was doing my master's degree, and I started teaching at exactly the same time.
Wow, that's good.
And I had a full diary. So I took over this entire diary, and I'd never done it before. I just remember the stress and panic I felt on the first day, just thinking, oh my gosh, can I do this? I'd been in the week previously and I'd watched all the lessons, so I kind of knew what was going on and how the lessons were run and how they should work. But I did feel a little bit like a fish out of water. Like, obviously I know what I'm doing, but it was so terrifying. Like, I was so scared. It was so scary.
I get that, yeah.
And I had to put on a bit of an act. Like, I was just performing. I was acting. I was pretending I was like confident and knew like, oh yeah, I'm an expert. But yeah, I kind of I fell in love with it. I did. It was exhausting at the beginning because I just wasn't used to. It just takes so much. Like, you have to think so much. You're thinking on your feet all the time. There's no rest in your brain. You can't switch off for a second. You're always having to analyze everything. And I'm always learning all the time, and I was always developing. I was still doing my master's at the same time then as well. So I was still very much learning and honing my skills as I was working. But, I love it. I wouldn't want to do anything else. I can't imagine myself doing anything else now. And it's mad because I just did not think that this would be what I'd be doing. But I love it. It's so rewarding. I've been teaching people who I've had right from the beginning as well. So I've got students that have stuck with me through. I've been there since 2009. 2009 I started. 12. Long time. 12 years is that?
Yeah. So you started doing that at the same time I started being a leader for Scouts.
Yeah.
Quite impressive though. I mean, it's similar like story with like Chris, isn't it? Like someone in the bar, they've given advice and you wind up where you do. Yeah. So that's quite interesting.
And we've ended up in the same place, just in different roles.
Yes.
No, for my job was happen a circumstance. Back during my during my kid years, at 8 years old, I wanted to be an actuary, which is basically a forensic accountant. I would work out people's money once they died and doing all that stuff. I liked numbers and I liked the sound of the pay because the first year untrained was 65k a year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. By 16, I realised I wasn't quite smart enough for that because, like, you need, like, grammar school top-level grades. And I only had that in maths and nothing else. My English was atrocious. My Spanish was better than my English by the end of GCSEs. Shame I can't remember as much Spanish anymore, but hey-ho. But in sixth form, I did maths, science and ICT. And I passed a lot, and I was due to go to Hertfordshire University to do accounting and finance. However, whilst revising for my last maths exam, my mum got a phone call from a family friend saying, I've just been taken into the family company as the office manager, but I know diddly squat on how to set up spreadsheets. I just need an apprentice to help me get all the spreadsheets going. Do you know someone who needs like a 3-week summer job? And Mum just looked up at me and went, yep, he's sat opposite me right now, because Mum was doing the ironing whilst I was revising. It was her way of making sure I was revising properly.
Yeah.
18 years old, summertime, I'd rather be, having fun, but no, I'm sat there revising for my A-level exams. And she went, yeah. He went, when can he start? And she went, Chris, when's your last exam? I went, about the 24th of June. I was just like, okay, he can start on the 28th. Like, I hadn't finished my ICT or science coursework by this point, but my exams would have been done.
Oh my goodness.
So before I finished sixth form, I started what was supposed to be my 3-week summer job at my company.
Wow.
Nearly 8 years later, I'm still there.
Wow.
And I've decided that I no longer want to be in an office because I'm not enjoying office work as much. Like, I actually enjoyed I enjoyed the numbers. The numbers are fine. It's the emails, it's the constant sorting through calls. The filing's a bitch.
It's the
Especially when you
admin.
do all of it, because no one
Yeah.
else. And again, it could just be because I'm in a small team, so the jobs which would probably work for 10 people, we're squeezing into 4. So that's, and so I'm just at the moment, I'm just looking for like a change of pace. Like, the Twitch streaming's a nice change. The singing lessons are my highlight of my week every Friday.
Oh, that's so
Like,
sweet.
Has been that way ever since I got over the initial nerves.
Oh, you were very nervous.
I
your
was
first
very
lesson.
nervous.
I could tell.
It took me like 6 months to get over those initial nerves.
And I remember we had an hour that first lesson.
Yes.
And you were like, oh God, I think I need half an hour. Like, it was,
Yeah,
it was all a bit much, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just, I got so overwhelmed. I was just like, it's such a big change to what I've been doing previous. I've never done anything that just like puts a spotlight on me, like a one-to-one. Like, I've had a one-to-one tutor before, but that was a maths tutor, and that's easy. I'm just thinking
singing.
that's just, being quiet, using my head. I don't have to worry about what I'm gonna say because I know I'll probably get there. But singing, I had no clue. So yeah, I'm just like, I'm playing the field, seeing what I actually enjoy doing, and see what I want to, if I want to change to something else. That's what I'm working on at the moment.
Yeah, that's difficult.
Because I like being in an office sometimes, but I found that I'm better when I've got people to bounce off of. I need energy in a room, and sometimes the office is just...
Maybe it's not that you don't want to work in an office, but maybe it's just the type of office. Because I think there are some offices that are more bustling and more team-centered rather than...
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I'm just trying to figure out what balance will work for me. Is it a complete...
Because you've built up a lot of skills doing what you're doing. So it would be good to find something where you can transfer those same skills.
And I know spreadsheets like the back of my hand.
You might like Border Force. In all honesty, you might, because with numbers, there are certain things you need to do. Because I thought about joining the Border Force, but they've got a variety of jobs, and like some of them is checking and like doing numbers of what stock's coming, especially now that we are in the Brexit things, because certain checks need doing. So take a look at Border Force at the moment. That's where a lot of some of my team went to.
My favourite out of the 3 jobs I've had in the past 12 years has definitely been being a waiter.
Really?
Been very physical, which is not like I quite like having the lazier job where I can just sit down.
Because it can be quite stressful being a waiter, actually.
It can be, but I never found it. I look back and I've never complained about how stressful a night was. I always thought about the 2 or 3 people that made me laugh, or the banter I'd have with the kitchen staff or the other waiters. There was always like on a quiet night, it'll be banter between the waiters. On a busy night, it's banter with the customers and the high energy and providing I can keep that energy going. And that would keep me like I was supposed to only do 4 hours when I started, but on my busiest shift, I did a 7-hour shift, 6 till 1. And that was flat out all the way through, but I didn't stop once to complain, oh my God, we're so busy. I think I stopped once because I was just like, if I don't drink something in a minute, I'll probably collapse. Because I'm just talking and it was warm.
That is the thing, and also when you're walking loads, you're just losing.
I think I walked about 10 miles.
Yeah. Yeah, I found it so good for my fitness working as a waitress because you're just running around everywhere.
I was the same way I am now, but I felt physically fitter because I was walking a shed ton. But yeah, no. But yeah, being a waiter has been my favourite job out of the 3.
Fair enough.
But I will say after, I'm going to say 2.5 hours.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, shush. We are unfortunately going to have to wrap this up because 2 of us have got work in the morning. So I know with the length of the day that we have, some sleep would be nice.
But I mean, it has been a good one.
It's been great.
And if you ever fancy joining us again at all, you're more than welcome if you ever want to come back on.
Thanks, guys. It's been fun.
Yeah. So, of course, it's jingle time. So, normally it would be my turn, but thankfully, Chrissy's come to my rescue and she's done one.
Okay, well, I did this in like an hour today. So, yeah, I hope you guys like it. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Just a couple of guys chatting over a brew. Won't tell you no lies, it's BarCast.
I like that. I really do. That's so good. It's like a perfect jingle, to be honest. Like you would see it on like TV or radio. So yeah, no, that's beautiful.
I think that go really nicely over our credits. So with your permission,
you can have it. I gift it to you. It's my gift.
Thank you very much. It's so good. Like it is. I haven't got enough words really to describe, but it's really good. You've done a terrific job. Blow it. What I'm gonna have to do like next.
Yeah, it's your turn.
Next one, I'm gonna have to come up with some really good jingle now.
Yeah, competition's on now.
Yeah.
Oh, indeed, indeed.
Speak of next time, that episode will be released on the 8th of May, which is mental that we're already looking at May recordings. But till then, folks, have a drink, have a laugh. We love you from the bottom of our guts. And until next time, bye.
Just a couple of guys chatting over a brew. Won't tell you no lies, it's